LoneStarTransfer.com. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom lovers. Good morning, Quentin.
Good morning, Vic.
I paused there because people say, is it Ken? He's going to say Ken. He's going to say Ken. But Ken, I don't know what he's got, man. He can't talk. He can't talk.
Yeah.
He's a radio guy who can't talk.
It's kind of like your main thing.
That's your thing. When you're radio, you talk. That's what you do. So we're hoping on Ken coming back on Monday. Of course, he wants to come back tomorrow, but if he's not better, why get sick? I'm starting to sound like Richard Lewis, which we'll get into in just a bit. Who's going to do the Pledge of Allegiance for us?
Your lovely wife, Miss Jessica.
Jessica, how you doing? Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you don't understand. My wife has to break land speed records on everything she does.
Right to the point.
Right to it. When she dials the phone, she's got to do 5 things at once. Multitasker. All right, let's go.
Oh, my goodness.
She's the best. She's the best. She gets things done.
The one and only Karen Cataline.
Did you know that I'm married to a trucker? I feel like using a Yiddish word, famished. Spoiling in front of my computer, I am. They're just too dumb to lie. He has the effect of 6 shots of scotch.
I am so incredibly, here, I got to tell you, I just spent about a week with family, and I am absolutely thrilled and delighted to be here in front of strangers. You have no idea. Can't believe it. My mother, she put a satellite dish up. I said, gee, wow, she's into sports, and I can't imagine discussing like the pennant race with her. But it was, believe me, it was like, it had to be like a Jewish satellite dish. It picked up problems from other families. It's like...
Richard Lewis.
Who is that?
Richard Lewis.
I haven't, I don't know that much about him. I heard you mention him.
He is there's actually a story. So, Richard Lewis, stand-up comedian. He also, do you know the show Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I am familiar, yes.
Right. He's been on that for a long time. But his
is that Seinfeld's old partner?
Yeah, show? Larry David. Yeah,
Larry David.
And so, with him being a stand-up comic, how my wife and I kind of got together was both of our loves of stand-up comedy, oddly enough. And my wife, you heard her do the Pledge of Allegiance, right? That's the fastest.
I loved it. That's the first time I ever heard your wife's voice.
She's the fastest of all the pledges we have. She gets it done. If she dial on the phone, she got to dial it real quick. When she's going to call me on her phone to my phone, she doesn't look for Vic. She does the number. That's quicker to her. That's quicker for her to dial the whole 10 numbers than to find my name.
That's because she's a true New Yorker.
Yeah, Jersey girl. She's a Jersey girl for sure.
Okay, close enough.
So she, at the young age of 18, would drive into New York City by herself and go to Caroline's Comedy Club.
How cool.
Yeah. And she also happened to be dating the bar manager or something like that. So she used to, get to do things other people didn't get to do. And she met so many of these guys, like Harry Anderson. Remember Harry Anderson?
Oh, boy, do I ever. I loved Night Court.
He was
Loved it.
doing his thing, and Jessica's sitting right in the front row, and she's got her feet on the stage. And Harry does the Lily Von Stupp thing. He says to her, hey, are you in show business? And get your freaking feet off the stage.
Get your feet off the stage.
and she got to meet and hang out with Richard Lewis for an extended period of time. It was like an hour she got to talk to this guy. And so Richard Lewis, his whole thing is how he's a neurotic. He's paranoid. I'm so paranoid. My stationary bike has a rearview mirror.
I am totally clueless about this. I mean, I know I've heard of him, but I never really followed him. So yeah, go ahead.
He is Jewish, and he will do the Jewish references. Like you heard the Jewish satellite picks up problems from other people in the neighborhood. But 76 years old, passed away. He had Parkinson's, but he died of a heart attack, and that was just last
my.
night. Yeah.
I did see that. And so, yes. Rest in peace, Richard Lewis.
He was talking about some guy. He goes, yeah, he was very mad at me. He threatened to break my therapist's legs.
That's funny. So, did your wife ever do stand-up comedy?
No, my God,
she
no. She likes to spectate and not participate.
That's fine.
Even in theater,
we need them.
There's right. We do need them. There's 5 of us in the family. She's the only one that doesn't do any theater. All the 3 kids and me have all done theater for years and years and years.
You know what's funny? I did theater for years and years. My mother put me on the stage when I was 3 years old. That's a whole other story. But I have great respect for good stand-up comedians, and I just don't have that gene. It is a whole different skill, and I don't think I have it. I like being a spectator when it comes to stand-up comedy.
I did try it, of course, and failed miserably, but I gave it a shot. There was a place in New Jersey in Montclair. You actually were familiar with Montclair, right? Because you taught at Montclair State.
I used to teach at Montclair State for a short time.
So there was I think it was Grove Street. There was a place. The bottom part was called Just Desserts. They just had coffee and desserts. And then upstairs was a place called Katie Gray's, which didn't serve anything. But if you wanted to bring in your own wine or something, you could bring it in and watch the comedians. So I had to audition for the guy who was the guy who booked the act, right? And Karen, I had to sit across from him from a table and tell him my jokes right there at the table. And then he would say this. He would go, "That's very funny." I was like, really?
It's so hard to do without an audience. It's terribly difficult.
Yeah. And
so he's going to judge your humor without like the delivery and the audience.
No, the delivery was there, just no audience reaction.
How about that?
But he thought he knew so much, and that's very funny. Like if he'd go, that's hysterical. Nope, that's very funny. That's all.
Remember the granddaddy of them all in New York, which I think was the Comedy Store.
Yeah,
was it
in
New York?
Yeah,
her name was I sang there once.
Oh my
and she
God!
kept telling me it was so weird. I sang, and I thought, I don't know what I'm doing here, but she wants me to sing, so I'll sing. And then she got all mad. I mean, she was the one whose husband ran the Comedy Store. It's really famous. I don't remember the name of it. Why it's so famous? I don't remember the name of it. And then she kept saying, no, can't you do anything that's more timely? Like, why are you doing Summertime in the Winter?
Ah!
I thought that was so funny.
Comedy is, I'll tell you what, comedy is so hard.
Oh, yeah, it is.
To be able to connect with the audience. You're never going to make everybody laugh. But I remember that George Carlin, he said that there's so much violence when you talk about comedy, I mean, you either go out there and you kill them, right?
Yes.
Or if you die on stage.
Or you die. And both are true. Or you bomb.
You bomb. Right. Everything is violence. My God.
Yeah. And yet now they do something like that's the bomb. Well, from my vernacular, that means you were bad. You bombed. Right.
Right. That's why I don't understand when they call people the GOAT. Right. The GOAT is the greatest of all time. In my day, if you made the error that lost the game, you were the GOAT.
Yeah.
Because you
see that changing language everywhere.
I don't like it. I'm telling you right now, I don't like it. I fear
I'm
change.
old school.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I fear change.
Well, is it okay to have a pregnant pause in radio? I don't think so.
No, it's great. You kidding me? If I say, so you'll never believe what I did to Quentin. And then say it, people start leaning in. What? What did you do?
What did you do? Who was the king of the pregnant pause? Rush Limbaugh on the radio.
Yep. And I got
he was not afraid of silence.
And locally here, our very own Larry Connors does it on his show every night. Oh, Quentin works with Larry every day. And,
cool.
And Larry will say something.
Hi, Quentin.
Hi.
Oh, you two stop it. You hear me?
Hello, darling.
Stop. She's my girl. You stay away.
I speak Italian.
She doesn't speak Italian. She wants to speak Italian.
I used to sing Italian, but it was very limited.
Really? Opera stuff?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, I used to sing. Yeah, all those.
I can sing
great arias. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Not quite an aria, but I can sing all of the words to Bella Ciao in Italian. So there you go.
Really?
Yes, I
Dare
can.
we ask you? I don't know.
Una mattina mi sono alzato. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao.
Bang,
Now,
ding,
that-
ding, ding, ding.
we,
Let me get out my tambourine.
I am so mad. I didn't find out about that song until I watched the show Money Heist on Netflix. Which have you watched that?
No.
You'll love it. I think you'll
Okay.
love it.
I'll write it down.
It
Because
comes
Vic said so.
Money Heist. Money Heist, right?
Well, I don't have Netflix.
Oh, well, then you're on your own,
I'm
Karen.
too
I don't know what to tell you.
doggone. Yeah, no, I don't have Netflix.
Anyway, they sing that song in that because that song is a 75-year-old song that the partisans who were fighting against Mussolini used to sing. You know?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like the very last thing is Questa fiore del partigiano morto per la libertà. The flower, the partisan flower. At least I'll die with liberty. You know.
Oh, that's a beautiful song. I should learn it.
Yeah, but all my aunts.
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
All my aunts who spoke fluent Italian never told me about the song. I'm so mad
What's
at
it
them.
called? What's it called?
Bella Ciao, Bella.
Bella CIA.
Yes, you're a guinea. Come on.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, this is such a stereotype, but it's really, really true. If you're studying opera, which I did in college and after I got out of college,
I'm
and
impressed.
stuff, well, I mean, but I did takeoff on opera. I was chubby and I used to sing the laughing song and I would make fun of it and I'd flit around the room and I didn't, I sang it and I had a big soprano voice. But if you're studying opera, there's 3 languages you have to know, and English is not one of them.
I'll be damned.
It's German, French, and Italian.
Oh, wow.
But Italian is the most wonderful, beautiful language to sing in.
I agree.
There is no other language you can sing in that is as wonderful as Italian.
Italian is the most beautiful language. You can say anything in Italian and make it sound sexy, right? Like, for instance,
Yes.
if I say, Sentino se dice quando porta tornare. Wow, that's
Oh,
sexy.
that's so beautiful.
All I said, but does Santino say when I can return? The Godfather. That's
Say that again. Would you say that again with your? Oh, it's so nice.
Sentino se dice quando porta tornare. Right? I'm getting you all hot and bothered here, aren't I?
Baby.
Right?
Oh. That, and I hate to say, I don't want to compare the two, but if you ever hear a Scottish man speak English,
Yeah.
it's like, ooh.
Oh, yeah. If it's not Scottish, it's crap.
Oh. Oh, so yeah, it's definitely, especially if you're an auditory person,
Yeah,
and you
right.
just hear that.
And radio
voice and
people
you-
are auditory.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right, listen.
So-
We've almost ruined this whole. Not ruined it, but we didn't play any hits.
No,
here.
we got to avoid all the misery, and we're talking about happy stuff. I like it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
just very quickly though, I have to get your take on this state that's right next to us, Illinois, the crooked state of Illinois,
Oh God.
is trying to take Trump off the ballot, and I don't think they understand that you have to have a real reason to do that.
Oh, they don't care,
I know.
and they don't. I just you probably saw. I just tweeted something about that because it's so horrifying, really. And all I said, I'll just repeat it for those of you. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can.
Yes, do
as
that.
long as Trudeau is still free to some extent. Does that, the whole Chicago thing, tell you everything, just about everything you need to know about today's left and the Democrat Party? They call everyone else tyrants and fascists, and then they do everything tyrants and fascists do.
Ed Stoit.
And yet, some actually still believe their rhetoric rather than their behavior,
Yeah.
watching what they do. Just watch what they do.
Yeah, just
And
listen to what
it
they say.
is what they accuse everyone else of. It's the most insane thing. I don't have words for it, although I just had a few.
The Democrats came out of that deposition with Hunter saying that these Republicans are just ridiculous, everything they and Comer's coming out and saying, yep, we got them now. So somebody's lying, right?
Well, somebody roped me into watching after the fact a little of that hilarious, frightening trial or hearing of what's her name? Fannie Willis.
Yeah.
The Willis Wade soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so embarrassing, but they didn't have enough sense to be embarrassed, I mean, there's somebody that I respect who's an attorney, and he's totally addicted to it. I said, I'm going to have to find out what he's doing. And so I watched, and I had to pick my jaw up off the floor. Really. That's all I'll say.
Do I have to
It was unbelievable.
Do I have to be jealous of this guy too now?
Oh, no, he's married.
Okay.
He's one half of a talk show
I'm
host
sure
team.
John Zamerik's married too, but whatever.
I don't think he is.
No,
but that's okay.
Damn it.
I am.
Damn it. That's true.
I am.
Okay, good. All right, final thing.
Yes.
This terrible, awful story about this guy from Venezuela that killed this girl in Georgia, right? It's funny that, and I said this from the beginning, somebody on Twitter said, well, what do you know? Donald Trump was right. They are sending us their murderers and rapists and criminals. That's what he said in 2015, and I'll be damned. We find out too late for this poor girl that he was right.
I can't embellish on that except to say whenever the left goes hysterical, as they did, about something he said in order to make it about Trump instead of what he's saying, you know that it's a little too close to the bone.
Yeah.
And this is life or death we're talking about. In fact, everything today has part of that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Because you're right. They're not sending us our best.
Yeah. And the whole thing was they spelled, when he said they're rapists, the people on the left spelled it THEY apostrophe RE, and what he meant was THEIR. They're rapists, not they are rapists. No, I've said that from the beginning.
Yeah, but that's their objective. Of
course it is.
Look at the people who bought into this insane, hysterical, psychotic hatred. Lots of people.
Exactly.
And we just got to keep, saying, word.
All right, I'll leave you with one more.
With you?
I'll leave you with one more little Richard Lewis. He says, my psychiatrist is so busy now. It's like a drive-through. How can you hate your mother? You hate your father. That'll be $5. Get out of here.
5?
Well, that's all you get. You only get the 10 seconds. I mean,
hey, I got to send my kids to college. $5 ain't going to do it.
All right, Karen, KarenCataline.com. Thank you so much. We love you to death.
Love you too.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. All right, Karen Cataline. You can find everything she does at KarenCataline.com. Porcelli's Deli coming up at 10:25 today. Today's Leap Day.
Leap Day.
Today's February 29th.
Yes.
So, only, I guess, a quarter of the people have a birthday today that would normally have a birthday on any other day.
February 29th is March 1st.
Why is it February 28th?
Because you weren't born on the 28th. That happens every year. You were born the day after the 28th.
March 1st happens every year.
Yeah, the day after the 28th, just like February 29th. So
that is good logic, but I still disagree.
Oh, well, we're going to have to
we'll
talk about that.
We'll have to battle that out at 10:25. Nate Lucas drops by at 10:05. He'll be pissed off about something for sure. America's borders are swarming with leeches, criminals, moochers, and parasites. Cheryl Chumley said that. We'll talk to her at 9:41. And up next, it's Careening into the Abyss on 101.9 and 94.1. News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
One day, some of the kids from the neighborhood carried my mother's groceries all the way home. You know why? It was out of respect.
Whoosh.
News Talk STL. Always streaming on your smart speaker, our mobile app, or newstalkstl.com.
The wait is over. Capriati's is now open. Taste extraordinary with our one-of-a-kind sandwiches, like our award-winning Bobby with hand-pulled butterball turkey and stuffing, our roast beef with hand-sliced American Wagyu beef from Snake River Farms, or our crowd-favorite classic cheesesteaks with your choice of grilled steak or chicken. No matter which you choose, you'll always get Capriati's high-quality ingredients. Capriati's. Eat extraordinary. Order now at capriatis.com or on the app.
On Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
Does your life insurance plan include living benefits, hearing, diabetic supplies, teledoc service, discounts on urns, caskets, tombstones? Larry Connors here. I suggest you call Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial. Call 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
Are you a Republican voter in St. Louis City? This Saturday, March 2nd, grab your Republican friends and make a national impact by voting for a slate of delegates at the Presidential Primary Caucus right here in the city we call home. It's open to all registered Republicans. It's free and it is important. Doors open 9 a.m. at the St. James Center at 1360 Tam Avenue in the gym. Contact us at stlouisrepublicans.com for more details.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
What citizen wouldn't want to make America great again?
Live and local.
You lose your Dixon Notch. Yeah. You lost America. I saw it etched on a coin somewhere.
This is News Talk STL. You're listening to the star of Lizzie Borden Had an Axe, Sprouts, and Death Comes a Nightfall. Ranked 893,361 on IMDb. This is Vic Porcelli.
I haven't moved up one spot. 850,000 actors better than me? I don't believe it, Quentin. Nothing to say over there?
Believe it.
God. Porcelli's Deli, 1025. Today's going to be all about Leap Day. Already Quentin and I disagree on something about that. Nate Lucas at 10:05, and I'm telling you, the border is swarmed with scumbags, leeches, criminals, moochers, parasites, and we'll talk to Cheryl Chumley, we've had her on before, about that at 9:41. Right now, though, Quentin, let's just relax. Just relax. There we go.
And now on the Vic Porcelli Show. The peaceful, relaxing sounds of careening into the abyss.
Can you split a doit, just a single doit? There we go. Because it's double doit Thursday.
Oh, double doink.
Double doit Thursday. It's not doink, it's doit. Doit. Got it? Doit. Okay. All right. So, I heard her say something yesterday because now Joe Biden has taken a physical, right? Mm-hmm. No mention of a cognitive test at all. And I'll say it again, they made sure that they made Donald Trump take a cognitive test, which he passed with flying colors. And Karine doesn't think that he really needs one, I don't think so. Cue Karine me.
Why is President or your office not willing to make Dr. O'Connor available to us? Just answer questions here. Previous presidents have put their doctors up at that lectern. Why not this
So
one?
a couple of things, Andrew, and the president said that they thought he was too young. So, you heard from the president. He talked about this when he was asked. And so, look, as it relates to Dr. O'Connor, look, this is someone who has served under Republican and Democratic presidents in the White House as a military physician, extensively in the field as well. And so he is well respected, and let's not forget there was he did this with a team of 20 doctors who participated in completing the president's physical at Walter Reed. So it wasn't just him. There were specialists that were part of this as well, and I think that's important to note.
She avoided the question
completely.
Why doesn't Dr. O'Connor come in front of us and ask questions? You know why? Because first question is going to be, is he an idiot? Why can he pass a cognitive test? Can we skip ahead? I know I told you different, but can we skip ahead to number 23? So that's why they don't want Dr. O'Connor up there, because he'll say, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the president is an idiot. But does he need a cognitive test? Cue Karine me.
Did the president take a mental fitness or a cognitive test during his physical this morning?
So let me just say I did see Dr. O'Connor, and he stopped by my office earlier today after the president completed his physical this morning, as you all know. He was happy with how everything went, and as soon as he finishes completing the memo, it will be a robust, comprehensive memo. We will certainly share that with all of you, as we have done in the last 2 years. And look, you saw the president return to work. He took some of your questions not too long ago, and you saw he's going to continue to fight for the American people. In this particular instance, he was talking about fighting crime. So the president's going to continue that process. As it relates to, you were asking me about a cognitive test. As it relates to that, look, the president doesn't need a cognitive test. That is not my assessment. That is not my assessment. That is the assessment of the president's doctor. That is also the assessment of the neurologist, who has also made that assessment as well. And, and you've heard us say this, and I'll reiterate this, the president's doctor has said, if you look at what this president, the president who is also the commander-in-chief, he passes a cognitive test every day. Every day.
He passes a cognitive test every day. What she means is, in his everyday duties, he's passing a cognitive test, meaning that when people ask him questions, he answers it clearly and lucidly, and he just does not. But you know what it's like? And unfortunately, and don't make fun of me and don't think less of me, okay? But I can't think of the name of the movie. Leslie Nielsen was in it. Police something. And the funny scene is there's like utter Armageddon chaos going on behind him, right? Buildings on fire, explosions. He's like, everything is fine. Don't panic. That's what she is. Because Joe Biden is the dumpster fire that she's saying, no. He doesn't need a cognitive test. He's fine. I think we talked about cognitive tests this week, didn't we? My wife gave me a cognitive test.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, so Mr. Jones lives at 20 Main Street. Mm-hmm. That's what she'll say. Mm-hmm. And then I'll say, and then she says, well, tell me what I just said. Oh, Mr. Jones lives at 20 Main Street. Then she'll ask me about 3 or 4 questions more. And then she'll go, where does Mr. Jones live again? I'm like, damn it. I forgot about him because he answered all these questions in between, But I got it. I mean, nice. I did get it. I don't think Joe would get it, Another thing, I'm sorry. Can I say one more thing that just disgusts me? And I know I've been talking about this girl a lot, the girl who was killed by the Venezuelan illegal alien. Joe Biden, Quentin, her skull was unrecognizable. It was so bashed in that her head was not even the right. It was terrible. And she died. Joe Biden, because they were playing all clips from the 2020 debates, Democrat debates, when he was asked, will you let people in the country? Yes, people come on, swarm in. I forget the word he used. It wasn't swarm, but he used another word. And so the blood's on his hands is what I'm trying to say. And he's eating an ice cream cone with Sean, what's his name, from NBC. I was just so offended, Mm-hmm. If this girl died at the hands of an illegal alien, the last place you would find me is at an ice cream place eating an ice cream cone. It's the most let them eat cake moment that this presidency has had. I mean, does he even care? He hasn't said her name.
No, and he won't.
He hasn't called her parents. When George Floyd died, he was right on the phone with George Floyd's parents. Sure. George Floyd's death was more impactful than the death of Martin Luther King.
Yeah, this goes against their narrative they're trying to push.
All right, let's do another one if we have to, I guess. Careen me.
Speaker Johnson again called on President Biden to take executive action on the border. Does the White House at this point believe that it has many more executive actions that it can take, or does it believe that it's come close to exhausting those options?
Here's what I'll say, MJ. We believe in order to deal with what's happening at the border, you need a legislative solution. You do. It doesn't matter. We don't believe, the bottom line is we don't believe that an executive action would amount to what this legislation, this bipartisan legislation would have been able to do if it was enacted into law.
Wow.
She is not sure about anything, even the things she's sure about, she's not sure about. Right now, Joe Biden could stop it with a stroke of the pen. Doesn't need Congress. And what cracks... Oh, by the way, today, Joe Biden and Donald Trump will be at the border.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Trump announced that he was going first.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Here's the timeline. Here's the sequence of events. Donald Trump says he's going to the border, right? And then all of a sudden, Biden says he's going to the border. And Joe made it look like he said he was going first at the same ice cream place when he says you're going to the border. And in between licks, they couldn't even stop licking the ice cream to answer the question. He says, yeah, I was going to go Thursday, but then I heard my good friend is going, meaning Trump. No. Trump said he was going first. Mm-hmm. And then he might have just heard that Trump was going, or he was told and he forgot because he doesn't remember things very good. So, I'm sorry, Laken Riley is the girl's name who was jogging. Did you go to college?
Yes.
Where?
Missouri Baptist.
So, really?
Mm-hmm.
You live right there.
Yeah.
The campus, I've seen that campus. Nice campus.
Mm-hmm.
Did you worry about walking anywhere on that campus ever?
Never. No, I was back there in the woods too.
So,
they have trails and stuff. You can just, walk the trails.
Right. Well, this girl was jogging the trail on the campus of the University of Virginia, and she gets her head bashed in by some scumbag from Venezuela. And Joe's licking ice cream. I can't. I just can't do it anymore. That's all the time we have for careening into the abyss. One more tweet. One more Thursday. Okay. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk to Cheryl Chumley. We've had her on before. She's great. You can't argue with this statement. America's borders swarm with leeches, criminals, moochers, and parasites, and scumbags. That's next on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
You're listening to The Vic Porcelli Show. This is News Talk STL at 1019 94.1 99.1 HD3 and newstalkstl.com.
On the next
Larry Connors, USA.
Biden and Trump at the border today, evaluating the crisis, the bad, the ugly. There is nothing good.
Larry Connors, USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
Hey, it's Tony Colombo for the cleaning pros at Zero Res who are spreading the love for the month of February. We've trusted Zero Res with our home for years, and right now they have an incredible offer. Just book a cleaning in the month of February and mention the Colombo special, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $119, plus they'll throw in a free hallway, and you can take $50 off an air duct cleaning. Just mention the Colombo special when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Katie here, and I'd like to talk to you guys about Michael's Flooring Outlet. You could gain peace of mind with Michael's Flooring Outlet for your flooring and carpet installation needs. Their team of experts ensures that the job is done right the first time, providing you with attentive and a personalized service. Just like my parents, you can trust them to replace your old carpet with beautiful hardwood flooring. Visit one of their 3 locations in Dardenne Prairie, St. Peters, or Creve Coeur, or check them out at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
Colombo and Katie.
This is the exact situation that controlled chaos happens, where people understand what is going on at the border, and it looks like mayhem. I mean, it looks like people are creeping through cracks. People are going through walls. They are going across rivers that are infested.
Mm-hmm.
It is chaos at the border right now, but it is calculated.
Tony Colombo, Katie Fitzpatrick. Weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
This is Rob with St. Louis Bathroom Renovation, and we'd like to let you know you don't have to maintain the grout in your home anymore. The grout on the floor or in your shower or bath area. How would you like zero grout in your bathroom? At St. Louis Bathroom Renovation, we focus on grout-free options for your bathroom. If you hate cleaning grout, St. Louis Bathroom Renovation, 314-477-6476. 314-477-6476. Give us a call.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with this free call. 800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. That's 800-524-1641.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Everybody's talking, and I mean everybody, the residents, the agents, everybody's talking about how this is going to be a dog and pony show. He's coming at a wonderful time. We're in the middle of a Chado Days festival, which is a celebration between Matamoros, Mexico and Brownsville, Texas. And so things are going to look nice. The downtown area is already cleaned up, roped off. We're getting ready to have some really great parades and some real cultural celebration going on here. So things are already going to look nice. Mm-hmm. But whatever needs to be fixed will be fixed, obviously, for President Biden. And let's say if it wasn't fixed, he doesn't care anyways. He knows exactly what he's done to our country, and he's just coming to survey his damage.
Dog and pony show is what it's going to be. I'm not sure who that lady was, but it's the same thing when somebody goes to one of these towns that have just been, terrorized. And, like if somebody goes to San Francisco, they got to move all the people, move all the poop, so it looks nice and clean when somebody walks through it, which we know it's not. All right, before we go any further, we were just talking about my wife, right? She's listening, and she was on her way home, and she said to me, "This is how she goes, not University of Virginia. Correct yourself." I said, "I didn't say Georgia." She said, "No." I said, "Damn it." She said, "I think you had the V in Venezuelan on the brain." I said, "Oh, okay, I'll fix it." Then she sent me the heart. When she sent me the heart, then I'm okay. But I'm sorry if I said the University of Virginia. It was the University of Georgia, and that's where Laken Riley was killed by a scumbag coming across the border illegally from Venezuela. Oh, my goodness, which brings us to our next guest, Cheryl Chumley. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. We've had you on before. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, unfortunately, this is the best place to start with this story is Laken Riley, who was beaten so badly she was unrecognizable by some scumbag from Venezuela who was already in trouble and not held. And, how bad does it have to get, I guess? What's rock bottom, Cheryl? That's my question. What is rock bottom in this story?
Well, I think we are already hitting rock bottom, right? The problem is that there are too many in America who still think that Democrats like America want to preserve and protect America and are concerned with America's sovereignty and borders. And that's just not the truth any longer. We have a Democrat Party that is actively trying to cripple the Constitution and destroy America from within. And all these beatings and deaths and mow downs by illegals who are driving drunk and rapes and so forth, that's called collateral damage in Democrats' minds to their efforts to destroy this nation.
And I always ask the question, what is their end game, right? I know, destroy America. That I don't think that's the end game. Because once you destroy America, America still has to exist beyond that in what? Communism, socialism, what? There's nothing in it for any of these people if that happens.
Well, see, that's the big question, right? And that's what those of sane minds cannot grab a hold of, because it's very difficult to get into the mind of lunacy and evil and understand what's going on. So the end game with the Democrats is they have thrown in with the Chinese, right? They've thrown in with the globalist agenda. And they think if they do the bidding of these overlords, right, that are basically Marxists and communists, they think by playing along that they will have a part in this new world, this great reset, this whatever you want to call it, one world order. It's all the same thing. They think if they obey and they go along with it, that they will have a leadership role in that. And, maybe they will, maybe they won't, but that's their end game.
Even if they do, let me remind them, Kim Jong-un had his own uncle taken out back and shot.
Yeah, they eat their own, right?
Yeah.
Like once the race to the bottom begins, those left standing then start to pick off their own. But look, that's why it's so difficult for us of sane thinking to understand this is the way of evil. This is an evil agenda that's playing out. And it's a mistake and misstep for Americans of well-meaning intent to look at what's taking place with the border, for instance, and think it's just a dispute of politics or, bickering over reform. It's not. It's the battle of principalities. It's evil agenda taking place, and that's how we need to engage.
You know what? I'm so sick of the deceptive lies of this administration. We talk about him all the time on the show. Alejandro Mayorkas, testifying in front of a committee, was asked about the border. And here's the deception, right? He'll say, Congressman, we inherited a broken immigration system. Our system is working. But he never says we're keeping them out. So the system was to let them all in, and then one of them kills a 22-year-old girl who was out for a jog.
Right. We're all sick of the lies, right? But look, that's how the left is. We waste energy, I think, on our side, doing the good fight, doing the effective fight, when we spend time being outraged at how open the left has become with its lies. Yes, they lie. That's what they do. Leopards don't lose their spots, right? Democrats don't lose their penchant for lying. Mm-hmm. And this is how we need to go forward with that in mind, that we can wax outrage all we want, but it's not going to change, because this Democrat Party is not ashamed of what it's doing. It's just digging in deeper and getting more and more open with the lies and deception, because they know their time is short with Joe Biden. They know the Americans do not want Joe Biden, and they think that Joe Biden, his days are numbered, and the next president to come, Donald Trump, is going to take swift action to undo what Joe Biden has done. So they can afford to be open and unashamed with their lies. They have the media, much of the media on their side to carry their water.
We're talking to Cheryl Chumley, the author of America's Borders Swarm with Leeches, Criminals, Moochers, and Parasites. Democrats determined to destroy America any which way they can. So I love that you said when Donald Trump is going to be president again, he'll fix all this. My only question is, and I have all the faith in the world in him, is there time in just one more term to do all the things that he has to reverse? Open the pipelines and, drill and the border and taxes. Does he have time in his next 4-year term to do that?
Well, probably not, right? But he can make a dent. And I think he is hitting right at the first dent that needs to be made, that being the call for a massive deportation campaign, right? Because it's one thing to open the borders wide and then let people in and then move them to become legal citizens. Now we've reached the tipping point in America where we can't legalize all these citizens and believe that they're going to be good, limited government thinking types, right? They're coming from countries that are rotten to the core in many respects in their government. They're coming from countries with Marxist and socialist and communist ways of thinking, and they're bringing that mindset to America. So you can't just legalize people like that and expect that they're going to embrace a democratic republic such as we have. They're going to insist instead on this government turning communist. So what we need first and foremost is a realization of Donald Trump's promise to launch the largest deportation campaign in American history. Start there. The narrative and messaging goes out around the world that America's borders are closed, and then we can pick up and start with this cleaner slate, not completely clean slate, but a cleaner slate to address the other issues.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, Peter Navarro spoke at CPAC over the weekend, and I think the most important thing he said in his speech is if we lose in November, then we lose this country. And that's, unfortunately, not just frightening, but a possibility.
It is. And look, I don't like that narrative that comes out every time there's a presidential election. This is the most important election in history, right? They're all historic. They're all important. But for this particular election, you have to read the tea leaves. You've got to look around at what's taken place under Joe Biden, which is a continuation of Barack Obama, but on steroids, right?
Right.
And see that. And hello?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, okay. I heard someone yell "cut."
Wow, was nobody in here?
and realize that this nation cannot sustain. It cannot last much longer with a globalist open border agenda. And so the next president very well could be the stopgap to that, or could be the opposite, the open door and the end of America as we know it.
Yeah. So, sometimes, I mean, I get so exasperated, I don't know where to start sometimes. Because Joe Biden is going to the border today, subsequent of Donald Trump saying he was going to the border today. And Joe Biden makes it look like it was his idea, and Donald Trump's the big copycat, right? When I believe Donald Trump said he was going first, and then his administration was like, well, you can't make you look like a jerk. You got to get down there. And now they're both going to be down there. Holy cow, what's going to happen down there?
Well, it's interesting. They may both be down there, but it's different borders that they're going to be standing at for the most part. Joe Biden is going to a safe zone that's been cleared of all types of negative imagery, right? He's not going to an area where the border crossers are at their most populated. Donald Trump, on the other hand, is going to the thick of it, and it's going to be an actual show of what's taking place at the border. And I don't think American people are going to be deceived by the differences here. Because what Joe Biden is doing is all act, all theater, and it's all created, fabricated deception, whereas Donald Trump is going to represent what we all know is going on at the border because we see them in our own communities, right? These illegals committing atrocious acts of crime against even police officers in our own community.
Yeah, boy, I can't add to that. That's about it. All right, Cheryl, tell us again about the book, where we can find it, all that great stuff about you.
Sure. Well, my latest book is Lock Down the Socialist Plan to Take Away Your Freedom, but my upcoming nonfiction book is God-Given or Bust, Defeating Marxism and Saving America with Biblical Truths. So I hope people are interested in taking a look at that. You can get info on me at CherylChumley.substack or CherylChumley.com or find me at Washington Times.
All right,
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's always great to talk to you. You always have a great insight on things, and come back and talk to us again so we can say, see, I told you so, we were right, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. I don't think people understand the gravity of what's going on here in this country, you know? And I'm glad she said what I've been saying for years on this, 3 years on this show, that these people like AOC and, Swalwell and Schiff and Schumer, they all think in a socialist and or communist that they're going to be part of the power. They're going to be the power people. They're going to be the ones that are in charge. And that's not how it works, okay? When you think back on communist regimes, you don't hear about the Kim Jong-un administration or the Mao Zedong administration or the Xi Jinping administration. It's those guys. And if you do one thing step out of order, you're done. I'll say it again. Kim Jong-un had his own uncle taken out back and shot or fed to hungry dogs or something like that. I think he fed somebody to hungry dogs. Anyway, enough of that. My goodness. Q, Quentin, whatever your name is over there, can we check the chat box? Is that okay with you?
Want to check the chat box?
If you want. If you don't, we don't have to. If you want to bully me and you don't want to do it, it's fine with me.
I mean, bullying sounds fun, but
what does?
The bully part.
Hey!
You bully me every day.
I do not!
You
Don't make people think I bully you.
I'm just playing.
All right, let's do it. Good Thursday morning. Morning, STL friends from Alexander. Good morning, Vic Heads. Happy Leap Day. Yeah, we got a big Leap Day presentation coming up on Porcelli's Deli. Why would the president's doctor... Yes! Oh, my God, yes, Barry. Why would the president's doctor stop by Karine Jean-Pierre's office to make sure she gets the story straight? In parentheses, to be clear. I'd love to hear that interaction. Wouldn't you have loved to have been a fly on the wall when Dr. O'Connor stopped by Karine Jean-Pierre's office? First of all, the way she said that, too, you have to understand that she made it sound like she's so important, right? My office, I have an office, and the doctor stopped by my office to tell me what's going on. Like the doctor was like, Miss Jean-Pierre, is it okay to come in? Can I talk to you for a second? Yes, come in, but be clear. Good morning, Vic Heads. Everything went well with the surgery for Gene. Way to go, Gene. We're glad you're okay, man. Ed Stoit says, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And he also said, no fair election, no peace. Karen, good morning. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Bella ciao, ciao, ciao. I love that song so much, I swear to God. And it's another one of my... I'm going to show off one of my useless talents during Porcelli's Deli today. My other useless talent is I know all the words to Bella Ciao in Italian. And it's like 5 verses. I know them all. Joe is too frail and absent-minded to be charged with anything. Oh, but he's just fine to run the country. That's great. They know everyone won't do anything, so they just keep pushing the envelope. Of course, they want a legitimate solution to the border. They know it won't pass with the cronies. Yeah. Vic, people see what's going on, and they don't rise up. That's why the Dems crushed those in the Capitol on J6 to scare everyone. You know what? Rise up. That's the biggest message from this whole chat box thing. We got to rise up, and we got to win. And I'll say what Peter Navarro said. If we don't win in November, we will lose this country. Not on my watch.
Not on your watch.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Nate Lucas starts off our next hour. What can we really piss Nate off with? We have to find something that really get on his nerves so he can just go crazy. Porcelli's Deli 1025. Lots to do. Stick around. It's a Thursday on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number 1 for live and local conservative talk.
Whoosh.
Is your retirement income at risk if you or your spouse needs nursing home or in-home care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. The cost of long-term care is one of the biggest risks in retirement planning. For many retirees, a single nursing home stay can cause a significant reduction in assets that can permanently reduce your retirement income. Fortunately, there are affordable and flexible options available today that can help you manage the cost of long-term care. Our team can help you address the risks relevant to your retirement, including long-term care. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
When you go shopping, you may not get the bargain you want, but at least you know and can compare prices. It should be that way with healthcare, but too often it's not. Need an operation on your knee? Want to know what it's going to cost? Good luck. For 3 years, hospitals have been required to provide patients with list prices and have negotiated charges for some 300 services. Only 36%, just over a third, are fully compliant. In Missouri, prices differ greatly depending on a patient's insurance. The cost of a pelvic CT scan, for example, can be 20 times more expensive in one hospital than another. Price transparency allows patients to compare providers, forces hospitals to compete on price, and helps insurers negotiate lower rates. State law should require all healthcare providers to publish prices in a user-friendly form. What we don't know is costing us. The price of healthcare shouldn't be a secret. Check out our 2024 blueprint, Moving Missouri Forward at ShowMeInstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A wildfire racing across the Texas Panhandle has become the largest in state history. The Smokehouse Creek fire now covers almost 1,700 square miles, scorching rural ranch land and destroying homes. The fire has merged with another blaze and is only 3% contained. Panhandle resident Greg Downey says it was a chaotic evacuation.
Luckily, we made it out and into the migrant caravan, which I think was probably about 30 miles long, to the town of Wheeler. And then they evacuated Wheeler. So we headed to Elk City, Oklahoma. Then they said the wind was going to shift from the north. That would be no good. And we finally got lucky and found a room in Childress, Texas, and stayed the night there and came back this morning.
The fire blamed for one death. And now there are three. A judge in a third state has ruled former President Trump off the primary ballot. This time it's in Illinois, where the primary is March 19th. Judge Tracy Porter put her decision on hold until tomorrow, pending an appeal. Although it has to pass muster with Congress, congressional bargainers say they have an agreement aimed at averting a pending partial government shutdown for now.
In a joint statement announcing a deal, the House Speaker, the Senate Majority and Minority Leaders, and the House Democratic leaders say we are in agreement that Congress must work in a bipartisan manner to fund our government. That funding is temporary, one set of federal agencies through March 8th, another through March 22nd. And it will need the full House and Senate to vote to approve before Friday's deadline, when some federal monies run out. Passage of the deal would allow time for Congress to try to pass legislation to fund the government for the remainder of the budget year. Ben Thomas, Washington.
The Fed's preferred inflation gauge rose 0.3% December to January, and on Wall Street, the Dow down 23 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The new FedNow system is paving the way for the digital dollar. It grants the government unprecedented access to your financial transactions. This isn't just an invasion of privacy. It's a direct assault on your liberty and hard-earned money. It's another reason why I recommend physical gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst and a podcaster with nearly 25 million downloads to people just like you who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother while also preserving your retirement savings through almost anything, including economic crashes, political instability, and even hyperinflation. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. Remember, there's no strings attached. Text FAITH to the number 989898 right now, and I pray you're blessed with continued prosperity.
Vladimir Putin has delivered.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
After a chilly start, mostly sunny skies will help temperatures recover this afternoon, up to about 53 today, close to normal for leap day. A weak weather disturbance scoots through tonight, but probably enough to trigger a scattered light mix of rain and snow as we dip down to 34 for the morning low. Maybe a little accumulation on grass and elevated surfaces, but it just wets the roads for the Friday morning rush. That all moves out. Partly sunny tomorrow afternoon. We bounce back to 52, near 70 on Saturday, and almost 80 on Sunday. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough
and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Yeah, welcome to it. 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk. I'm Vic Porcelli. That's the great Quentin over there. I forgot to mention yesterday, talking about your name. Quentin, not Quentin. Quentin, Quinton.
Yes, sir.
There was a show back in the 60s, sitcom called McHale's Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And the McHale, the namesake of the show, his name was Quentin McHale.
Oh, wow.
So him
McHale.
and you are the only two that I know named Quentin.
My middle name's Michael.
How about that?
Crazy.
I think you should join the Navy.
There we go. Yeah, no.
All right, 1041, we're going to do stuff from the board. That's a little audible I'm throwing at you there.
Okay.
You don't have to look so panicked. My God, you're doing a great job. I mean, God, give yourself a break. Porcelli's Deli coming up. Nate might like Porcelli's Deli. We're going to talk about Leap Day and events that happen on the same years. And I don't want to give too much away, but that's coming up. But right now, a little baseball music. Nate Lucas. NateLucas.com. Good morning, Nate. How are you, baby?
Good morning, Vic. I'm enjoying. You never know where your brain's gonna go. So like you're taking cue through like the Vic experience with what he should do because of the name, and it's like a Venn diagram. Of
no!
Vic's brain.
It's not Kamala Harris approved though. It's not a Kamala Harris approved Venn diagram. So. All right, Nate, I want to start off with you today about sports betting. I think we're a little closer. You think we are in Missouri?
Well, I would hope we are. I mean, let's not be dead last. We're already behind the leaders of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
And, I can't really seem to figure out which side is against it. And every time that I sort of pry into the idea of sports betting and try to figure out, which side is holding this up, I keep running into one name that keeps coming up, and it's Denny Hoskins. And for whatever reason, Denny Hoskins has some maybe interest in other forms of gambling, like perhaps some gas station, or whatever, the slot machines.
Yep.
And it all gets hung up, and I don't know, but these are the ugly truths of government, that there are so many personal interests that happen to veer the conversation from what the constituents want,
right?
Because it doesn't scratch the back of our politicians, and I think that's the corrupt side of government that we have to eradicate, either at the state or federal level, and it's disgusting to me.
So, sports betting and slot machines and gas stations and bars and stuff. ¿Por qué no los dos? Why can't we do both?
Why can't we do both? Why can't we? We raise taxes all the time on cigarettes and alcohol and all these vices, right? If you consume nicotine, you're just taxed out the wazoo. And it's just, you're nicotine bad, we're going to tax you. And yet, sports gambling, guess what? Sports gambling is happening in the state of Missouri. Whether people are using a VPN to get past the geo-tracking or they're using their local book, it's happening. And I didn't think this state was rolling in cash. I would think that they could use a little bit of extra tax, and I don't see why this wouldn't be an area in which they would pursue. And it sounds like finally they are pursuing it. But, the key to all this, the major sports teams in this town have all been trying to lobby for this to happen for a long time. There are ballparks across America now that have betting windows. We're seeing somewhat of a revival of horse track racing because FanDuel TV, if you go to a bar now, FanDuel TV will put that on and you can bet legal. It's one of the only ways you can bet legally is through Twin Spires on horse racing.
Wow.
And here's the only little caveat to all of this, Vic, is that as someone who has been invested in sports gambling, it is a really dangerous, slippery slope. And I think you got to be careful with with it. The best of the best hit at like 56%.
Right.
And people think, oh, I know sports, so I'm going to be successful sports gambling. It's not how it works. These algorithms are really sharp. And there's a reason why when you go to casinos, they have fountains and marble counters and nice floors and everything's really aesthetically pleasing. And then usually when you go back to your home, it's like, my house doesn't look like the casino.
Right.
And that's because the house wins.
And the thing about the casinos, there's no clocks. There's no clocks in a casino.
Yeah.
They want
and
you
they
to just get
pump
lost
that
in time.
air in there, the oxygen. Oh, yeah.
So it's been 31 years since I've lived in the New York, New Jersey area. But even back then when I was living there, they had OTB, off-track betting, right? That was sports betting, kind of, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. It's a form of it. Here's my big thing. Like, just because something is dangerous and bad for you, that doesn't give this helicopter government the ability to tell me what I can and can't do.
Right.
And this is where I think bureaucracies have just largely invaded the personal lives of the constituents, and that's where we need to get the government to get out of our lives. And this is one of the, I'll never forget, during one of his pathetic State of the Unions or whatever address it was, when Joe Biden was up there saying, when they're talking about we the people, they're talking about we the government.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you have it so ass backwards. It's such a delusional way to interpret what the founding fathers meant when they said we the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the main reasons that the people right now are so livid with both sides of the aisle in government, because they think they're the ones in charge when really they're supposed to go there to represent us, and they're not doing that.
And you know what? They depend upon people who are ignorant of, and I don't mean ignorant as in stupid, I mean ignorant as in ignorant of what the Constitution says and what it represents. And the biggest one that made me laugh, Nate, was Jack Smith. When he started this case against Donald Trump, he wanted to use his constitutional right to a speedy trial. I'm like, it's not your right, it's the defendant's right to a speedy trial, you jackass.
Can you imagine? The prosecutor is now twisting the language to suggest that he needs a speedy trial. Oh, why do you need a speedy trial, Jack? And it looks like his whole plans of getting that trial set anywhere near before the election is pretty much off the chart now because of how the Supreme Court will hear the New York case, and you got the ongoing disaster with Big Fannie Willis down in Georgia, who should probably be on trial herself. And all of these attacks, is it shocking to any Trump supporter that all of these attacks on Donald Trump are once again seemingly falling short? No, because they've been doing it for the better part of 6 years. They've come at him from every single angle, and he just keeps escaping because guess what? When there's no there, you can't just throw a guy in jail.
Yep. Okay. We've brought this story up a few times today, Nate, but I thought it'd be perfect to bring up with you because I'm sure you are incensed about it. 22-year-old Laken Riley murdered by some scumbag from Venezuela on the University of Georgia campus. Go.
Well, I heard, I forget what his official title was down in Athens, but he was trying to differentiate the two between the fact that he's an illegal immigrant and the crime spree that he went on. And I'm like, how can you separate the two at all? To me, they're perfectly aligned. If you don't think that inviting 15 plus million people through your southern border completely illegally and letting them loose into the United States of America, thinking they're going to show up to some trial months down the road to determine their status as being here. If you think that's a good idea, you're a complete asshat. And this is a true invasion. And unfortunately, no one is held responsible when they come across our southern border illegally, and people are dying because of it. Didn't it happen a few years ago out in San Francisco? Remember Kate, who Donald Trump used to frequently talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody
Steiner,
who
Kate Steiner.
They tried to deport this deranged individuals several times. Didn't work. They would pussyfoot around the idea of it. And all of these places that wanted to become sanctuary cities are now reaping the benefits of what it's like to have uncivilized people come into this country who have no intent whatsoever to assimilate to what we used to think of, having great immigration people come here, innovative people, folks who wanted to grow and learn and start businesses. No, these people want to suck off the tit of the government. And frankly, they are reckless because they come from crime-ridden places themselves where they weren't held responsible there, so they think they can do it here. And it's so sad to me to hear that, Laken Riley put up a fight and desperately, seemingly trying to call 911. You think about how sick that must have felt for her in her final moments of her young life on Earth, to be dealing with some sick criminal who shouldn't have even been in the United States of America to begin with. And then you've got this politician up there suggesting that the two have nothing, there's nothing to see here. It's such a tone-deaf reaction. And once again, I will call on the Republican Congress and Republican governors around the border states. Why haven't you done more to stop this invasion and go beyond the federal government's ability to stop you? It's your state. You should be able to take back your states, and they haven't done that.
I think that, it was the mayor of Athens, I think, was the guy you're talking about?
Yeah.
Guy with the mustache and the bald head. There was a guy in the back of the room who wouldn't even let him finish what he was saying. He was like, the blood is on your hands. It's your fault, And I was like, oh, my God, this guy's great. And the really surprising thing was nobody stopped him, Nate. They just let him talk. And then, of course, Jesse Waters had him on last night. So they're not getting by on everybody, okay? Everything is how bad Donald Trump is. Joe Biden can't even run for president on what good things he's done. It's only bad things that Trump has done, which aren't true anyway. Do you understand where I'm going here?
Yeah, I do. I know. And sometimes we can get lost in the sickness of what's happening and not seeing that people are actually coming to grips with reality. But, I've got a clip, too, from that same mayor 5 years ago declaring Athens a sanctuary city and talking about how great that was going to be for the city of Athens. Well, something tells me that Laken Riley's family would vehemently disagree with that then and would vehemently disagree with that now because her life is gone. And how about, just the overall crassness of this guy to stand up there yesterday and then deflect on, respecting the dignity of migrants and deflecting to how Trump was mean to migrants and then going back to Charlottesville.
Yeah.
How sick of a human being are you? You're grotesque.
Nate, their whole agenda, their whole talking points is Orange Man bad. They have nothing else besides that. And he was saying that he didn't want his city to be a sanctuary city. And then, of course, Fox News found, old footage of him saying, yes, we're going to be a sanctuary city because Donald Trump is Orange Man bad. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what drives me crazy is that these politicians just blatantly lie to your face, and then you can show them a clip of themselves talking within the last 5 years, sometimes even 5 minutes, where they've stated exactly what now they're lying about.
Yeah.
And you can show them these clips and you can show them the tapes, and I just think they've reached a stage in their lives where these politicians feel so empowered that they feel like they can get away with anything, and that is hopefully a day of reckoning. I hope the city of Athens votes this guy out, but for some it's too late, and that includes Laken Riley.
Yep, and the guy with the funny hat absolutely, woke some people up yesterday. So we were talking.
How about that? The one guy in there with the funny hat, right? I'm sure most media looked at him like, oh, this is some kook job. He doesn't look like us. He's not. He doesn't have makeup on with a tie. What's wrong with him?
Right. You're right. So funny. So I meant to throw this in earlier when we're talking about legal versus illegal, right? There's a legal way to come into the country, and there's an illegal way to come into the country. And the left can't understand the difference between the definitions of the word legal and illegal. For instance, you can legally go into the bank and withdraw money from your account. You can illegally take it with a gun, right? It's the same thing. There's legal and there's illegal.
Precisely. And there's also, here's what really the Democrats are concerned about. Like, who was it the other day on the floor who said that we need to stop using the term aliens and we need to stop calling them illegal aliens because that's somehow, rude to them. No one is sitting here worried about language. People are worried about the rule of law. And then when you see what these thugs do once they get into the United States of America, they're not actually doing anything to suggest that we should allow more of them in. In fact, it's the exact opposite. And I'll always go back to when we talk about immigration to a sit-down conversation that Tucker Carlson did with Andrew Yang. And I don't agree with Andrew Yang on everything, but at least Andrew Yang gets it on immigration. He's like, my parents were immigrants. They came over here with the intent to learn and grow and be a part of this machine of the United States of America. They wanted to operate a business here. Yep. And when that's the intent of migrants, I think everybody could get on board with that. We need more hardworking people that are dedicated. But to suggest that the people coming over our southern border are similar in some capacity to like Andrew Yang's parents is just so disingenuous. It's gaslighting 101. But we can't sit here and say that without being called racist, some phobic racist. Yeah, you name it.
My grandfathers came through Ellis Island. There's even plaques for both of them on the wall at Ellis Island because they came the right way. They followed the rules. They raised their right hand after learning about our country and were sworn in as citizens of the United States. I mean, this is like calling illegal aliens undocumented migrants is like calling a bank robber an undocumented withdrawer.
Yeah, well, maybe can I go try that today? I got to pay rent tomorrow, so I might just go try to be one of those at the bank today and see if I can get away with it.
Don't tell them I sent you. That's all.
Or maybe I'll ask the Catholic Church. They seem so giving with how much money they give out than all the rest of these corrupt NGOs.
Yep, absolutely. Boy, NGOs, there's so much of that going on, non-government organizations. I can't think of her first name, Campos Duffy. I can't think of her first name, but she went to this place.
Rachel Campos.
Yes, Rachel Campos Duffy went to this place that was supposed to be a shelter for illegal immigrants, or actually just for a homeless shelter, but it's actually holding people who are illegal immigrants. And she wouldn't answer any questions, right? Rachel's asking her questions, no questions whatsoever. All right, we're out of time, Nate. Thank you so much, man. NateLucas.com, and good luck putting some money on the Blues this week, okay?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Always a pleasure.
NateLucas.com. All right. He's great, isn't he? When he gets mad.
Yeah, he's on a roll.
It's almost like when you're watching a cartoon and the thermometer keeps getting red and red and it explodes at the end. That's what Nate is. All right. At the end of the show today at 10:41, I got a few things from the board we're going to do. Is that okay? We'll do that later on?
I guess.
Jeez. Do you not care about the show anymore?
I guess whatever you would like to do, Vic. It's your show. I follow you.
Well, that's the thing about Ken is I always say, "Is that okay?" And he'll say, "Yeah, it's okay."
See, yeah, Ken is. Man, I talked to him last night.
You did?
Mm-hmm. Spoke to him yesterday.
Verbally?
Verbally, yeah.
How did he sound?
He didn't sound the best, but
did he sound like Don Vito Corleone? I'm trying to be in by Monday.
No, it was just I didn't want him to talk too much, but he would pause a lot. Okay.
All right, so we'll do some stuff on the board, if it's okay with Quentin. And next is Porcelli's Deli on 101.9 and 94.1. News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
So thank you all. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
On News Talk STL.
USA. People are saying nobody's threatening this guy's life just because he has some information on the Bidens.
Larry Connors.
If you were in his position, would you feel safe?
Weeknights at 6 on News Talk STL.
You know what? When a loved one is in long-term care, or, let's keep it real. If it's you in long-term care, right? So now you got the stress of, I'm in this long-term care situation. What's it going to do to the money that I've saved my whole life, right? You save money to have a lifestyle that you envision when you get there. And then here comes long-term care, and that could cost $60, $70, even maybe $100,000. So can the savings handle the added expense, right? Luckily, because you listen to the station, we just happen to have an expert with us. He's a financial strategist, he's a CPA, and a long-term care specialist. His name is Chris Cooper from Serenity Wealth Management. And he is, if you're stressed about this, he's the guy you want to go to relax about it, okay? He's not going to let you sit there and stress. He's going to give you some tax-efficient solutions to get through all this and still be able to have that lifestyle that you want when you retire. He also, this is what a good guy he is, he wrote a book, never meaning to make a dime on the book. It's called The CPA's Guide to Tax-Free Strategies for Long-Term Care. Here's what I think you should do. Start with the book, right? It's free. Go to serenityltc.com, get the book, find out what Chris is all about, and then get in touch with him to help you get these tax-efficient solutions to get through long-term care, okay? So get the book at serenityltc.com. Get the serenity you deserve, serenityltc.com. Serenity now! With Chris
Investment
Cooper.
advisory services offered through OWLLFI LLC, a SEC registered investment advisor. This is a paid endorsement. Insurance and education services offered through Serenity Wealth Management.
Springtime in St. Louis, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Mr. Rob Miller from Harvesttown Auto Body in St. Peters did. He called Rhino Shield. Rob, what was the thought process for going with Rhino Shield as a business owner?
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted.
Rob, tell everyone how the experience was with Rhino Shield from start to finish.
The process that I liked was when you came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. Our building was really faded. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
Are your neighbors jealous?
I would be if I was them.
Thanks, Rob. Now it's time to call 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Genius.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Are you a Republican voter in St. Louis City? This Saturday, March 2nd, grab your Republican friends and make a national impact by voting for a slate of delegates at the presidential primary caucus right here in the city we call home. It's open to all registered Republicans. It's free and it is important. Doors open 9 a.m. at the St. James Center at 1360 Tam Avenue in the gym. Contact us at stlouisrepublicans.com for more details.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
Hey, St. Louis, my name is Rob Carter. If you are sick and tired of the corporate news bubble, if you like unedited information free from corporate money, if you want straight talk with no script, join me weeknights from 8 to 10 p.m. on The Rob Carter Show.
Live and local, weeknights at 8 on News Talk STL. Welcome to Porcelli's Deli.
Yes, very good. I'll have a Bloody Mary and a steak sandwich and a steak sandwich, please.
Gabagool. Over here.
I bet the Chinese food here is terrible.
With Vic Porcelli.
He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot. Porcelli's Deli is moved to 1019 and 941 News Talk STL. Come on in. We're open. Have a seat. Vic will tell you a story.
Anybody else want to call me names out there? It's fine. Welcome to Porcelli's Deli. Quentin will be your server. He'll warm up your coffee, and he'll be with you to take your order in just a moment. Okay, so stay with me here. Okay, we're gonna come full circle here. Today is February 29th, what we call Leap Day. And you gotta wonder, right, when they made the calendar, and then somebody said, hey, wait a minute. We need to have one year that's got 366 days every 4 years. Is that okay? Well, why? I just trust me, okay? So February 29th is that day. I always feel for people who are born on February 29th because they only have a birthday every 4 years. If I knew somebody whose birthday was February 29th, I'm not saying happy birthday to them until it's February 29th. I just have strict rules like that. So Quentin thinks that if your birthday is on February 29th, you celebrate it on March 1st.
Absolutely.
I say February 28th because it's still February.
Impossible. You weren't born on the 28th. It's like
you were born on the 1st. So,
but you're not born
that
on
argument's
the 28th.
out. Next argument.
You're born the day after February 28th. That's when you were born.
But you're also born the day before March 1st.
According to who, though? Because why do we have leap year? Because we don't exactly have 365 days going around.
All right.
The
That's
sun,
when the guy
right?
said, "Hey, we need 366 days."
You know, every
4 years.
4 years, we equate to an extra day. So essentially,
Kind of
you're not-
sketchy, isn't it? Though,
I mean,
really,
it's definitely sketchy. That's a whole different argument there. But you're not born on February 28th. You're born the day after. So whatever the day after February 28th would be should be your birthday.
See, I would say that you're born on February 28th, which is the day before March 1st.
You were born on the 29th, not the 28th.
Right.
Yeah. So you can't be born on the 28th.
Regardless, today is the 29th, leap day, as they call it. And so the year is then leap year, right? And for my whole life, until they screwed up the Olympics, every 4 years was leap year, presidential elections, and Olympics. Then they screwed it up, and they made the Winter Olympics be every, 4 years on the different years. But the Summer and Winter Olympics used to be in the same year. That was a year full of Olympics, and I love the Olympics. So this year we have presidential election. It's leap year, and the Summer Olympics are coming up in the summer of this year, of 2024. So what I would like to do is, for no other reason than just to show off a incredibly unuseful, worthless talent that I have, and that is I know every Summer Olympic city from 1896 to the present. Can I say, I was alone one day in my house. I'm watching Jeopardy, right? And, okay, here's the category. Summer Olympic cities was the category on Jeopardy. And there's nobody home at my house to show off in front of, I nailed it, absolutely got everyone. I swept the whole category. So what we're going to do is, and here, closing the laptop, no papers are up here. It's the honor system. Quentin, you can vouch for me that I'm not cheating or looking at anything.
You're not.
Okay. So Quentin is going to mention a year, and I'm going to tell, and don't go in order. That's too easy, okay?
I'm not.
Jump around. So Quentin is going to mention a year, and I'm going to tell you what city the Summer Olympics were in that year. Go.
1916.
1916, there was no Olympics because of World War I.
There wasn't.
Am I right?
It's on the sheet here. Canceled due to World War I.
Thank you very much. Next.
1932.
1932 was 1920, Los Angeles.
Correct. Wow. Let's go 1952.
Helsinki, Finland.
So quick. All right. Let's go 1988.
1988 was Seoul, South Korea.
Correct.
There's little stories with each one too.
I see.
In 1988, Jesse and I were just married that year, and that was the first year that Bob Costas was the nighttime anchor for the Olympics, and he wears contact lenses. And one day his contacts were bothering him, and he couldn't wear it, and he had these big horn-rimmed glasses on, and he said, "Welcome to the Olympics. I'm Mr. Peabody," and I just thought that was great that he made fun of himself. Okay, so go ahead.
1900.
1900 was Paris.
Paris, France. Oh my goodness.
As opposed to what? Paris, Missouri?
Yeah. Let's go to the 2000s now. Go 2006.
2006 was not an Olympic year. If you could give me Olympic years, that would be great.
2004.
2004.
This is when they started every 2 years, apparently.
So you're reading Winter Olympics. I don't know the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, totally. Well,
so 2004 was Athens.
Correct.
They wanted to do it in 1996, which would have been the exact 100th year anniversary of the modern games in 1896, which started in Athens. Got that?
Okay. So, where'd they go in 96?
They went to Atlanta.
Gosh, Vic.
Muhammad
Why
Ali.
Do you know this?
Muhammad Ali. I'm an Olympics freak. You don't understand. Muhammad Ali, suffering with Parkinson's, Quentin. His hands were shaking. He had the torch in his hand. He was shaking, and he still lit the Olympic flame,
Okay. All right.
Gets me emotional.
The first Olympics after World War II.
Okay. So
All right,
there was no Olympics in 1940 or 1944 because of the Olympics. In 1952, is that what you're talking about? We already did that.
48.
Oh, sorry, 40. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. 40 and 44, and 48 was London.
It's no fun when you're getting them all right.
It's a gift.
All right. Last one here at least.
Well, we have time. Keep going. I like showing off. Come on.
Let's go. 1908.
1908 was London.
It was London. My goodness. All right. How about this? Where will the 2024 Olympics be at?
Paris.
Okay, of course you know that. 2012.
2012 was 2012. Hold on. I got to figure out where Beijing was. Beijing was 2008. London was 2012, too.
Right, yeah.
You're picking all the Londons. London's, I think, had it more than any other city.
Really? Yep. Interesting.
And Los Angeles will catch up in 2028.
2000.
2000 was Australia. Sydney, Australia.
Sydney, Australia.
And you know how I'll always remember that?
How?
There was a commercial during the Olympics when these guys from Australia, you know how like when people have an accent, sometimes you can't even understand what they're saying? Of
course.
You know? And have you ever seen the movie Snatch?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Quentin, you got to see it. Brad Pitt is in it, and a guy named Stephen Graham, who played Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire, and he played Tony Provenzano in The Irishman, with his real, natural, thick British accent. When he played Al Capone, he was like, all right, we're going to have dinner and I'm going to see who dies. But his real voice is... Anyway, so these guys are talking Australian, and somebody said, smaller in Sydney. And they go, small in Sydney.
Huh.
I don't know. Go ahead.
All right.
A couple more.
Let's go. 19... I'm hoping this is a Summer Olympic. 1980?
1980 was in Moscow. We did not send a team to Moscow because we were protesting the Russians invading Afghanistan. And then I'll just go skip ahead and say 84 was in Los Angeles, and the Russians didn't send a team here just to go nye.
So what point can we go in order? Let's start with after World War II.
Okay.
44.
No Olympics.
Yep, 44.
No
48.
Olympics. 48. We went through that. That's London.
Yeah. Just going to go through.
Okay.
52.
Helsinki, Finland.
56.
Melbourne, Australia.
60.
Rome.
1964.
Tokyo.
68.
Mexico City.
70.
Munich.
76.
Montreal.
80. We just did 84.
Los Angeles.
Yep. 88.
So we did that.
92.
92 was Barcelona.
2004.
Barcelona was the dream team, first dream team.
Oh, that was the dream team.
Yeah. See, that's how you remember all this stuff.
Yeah. So, okay, 2016.
2016 was Rio. Oh my goodness. Then that's it. Right?
I don't have any years that you. Gosh.
I think I've proven my point. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's all the time we have for Porcelli's Deli. Let's get out of here. Go. I just hear this music, and I get revved up. I love the Olympics. In 1968 in Mexico City, Bob Beamon broke the long jump record.
Yeah.
And I remember that they were having a hard time breathing because I guess it's high altitude there. And when he won, he had his hands over his face because he was so happy that he won. You know. 1960, a kid named Cassius Clay won the gold medal in boxing. Of course, that's Muhammad Ali. I don't know. I love the Olympics. I really do. I just hate that NBC has them. I wish like the Vic Porcelli Network had the Olympics. All right, we got to go. We'll be right back with some stuff from the board on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL, live and number one for live and local conservative talk.
This is News Talk STL at 1019 94.1 99.1 HD3 and newstalkstl.com. Subscribe and watch your favorite News Talk STL shows.
Mike Ferguson in the morning, The Vic Porcelli Show, Columbo and Katie, Jones and Arps.
Webcam streaming on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble.
Subscribe and watch
News Talk STL.
Stand and Fight with Nick Schroer.
Hey everyone, this is Nick Schroer from Stand and Fight every Sunday 8 to 10 p.m. If you need tree removal, storm damage, repairs to trees, tree trimming, pruning, if your bushes are out of control, call River City Tree Service. Free quotes right now, 314-270-8071, 314-270-8071. Professional tree services performed by ISA certified arborists. Request your free quote at rivercitytreeservice.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Dakota, I'm going to have to use a little hip-hop street lingo here to describe Vladimir Putin. This man is straight up off the chain. He has murdered his biggest critic, Navalny. What's the deal here?
Well, one, they're a clumsy people. It's amazing how many Russians fall off of balconies or sit too far outside of windows or stumble into poison umbrellas. I mean, it's just horrific.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Hi, I'm Rodney Wallner.
And I'm Jen Wallner with the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, Jen, how do you sell your home for top dollar?
That's easy. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What if I want a flexible commission plan?
Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What's the best time to sell your home?
Right now, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
For all your real estate needs, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
That's 314-810-SOLD.
Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
All your hard-earned tax dollars and mine are going to fund illegal aliens who come across the border penniless, jobless, skillless, and they're given a cell phone, an identity, and a cash stipend every month.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
That beats your Social Security income if you should have the good nature to work your ass off your whole life and retire.
Mark McCloskey on fire. Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
Brought to you in part by Modern Weapon Systems in Fenton.
Fox News commentary.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell will step down from his post in November, but many are wondering why wait. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
The Fed's new FedNow system is all about surveillance and control. Secure your assets today with something Washington cannot manipulate. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon, and I recommend diversifying your retirement into a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. Do this right now. Text SHELTER to the number 989898 and get a free info kit from Birch Gold. There's no obligation or purchase required.
Message and data rates may apply.
After 17 years at the helm, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell announced this week he will step down from the post in November. McConnell is undoubtedly one of the most powerful Republicans in party history, but at 82 years old, he admitted the end of his contributions are closer than he prefers. But does this have to do with age or not wanting to confront the mega base of the party any longer? After all, McConnell's support of Donald Trump has been lukewarm at best, and his priorities couldn't be further from the mega base. The biggest mystery now is who will replace him. Will it be another neocon like Senator John Thune, or will an America First leader step in? Well, my short list includes Senators Rand Paul, Tom Cotton, or Marsha Blackburn. We don't need another semi-progressive leading our efforts in the Senate any longer. It's time to drain the swamp. I'm Tommy Lahren.
Hi, this is Mark Harder, Vice Chair of the St. Louis County Council, and you're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL 101.9 and 94.1.
All rise. Well, no, he's not here, so you don't have to rise. Well, Mark Harder comes and we all have to rise. Yes. With fanfare and the trumpets and all that.
Yep.
All right. What's next? What are we doing next?
Now, stuff that's written on the board.
Of course.
On the Vic Porcelli Show.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so I want to start with Argentina. We talked about this briefly yesterday, and I wanted to expand on it a little bit. They have a new president there. His name is Javier Milei, and he is, we talked about this, he's MAGA, Make Argentina Great Again. And Quentin, he balanced the budget. He balanced the budget in 9 weeks. Done. Balanced budget. We haven't balanced the budget in this country, I think, since the Clinton administration, but he did it in 9 weeks.
Insane.
And this is a guy who loves Donald Trump, by the way. He kind of based his campaign on Trump. He's basing his administration on Donald Trump, and obviously he's a conservative leader. So why don't you can you do me a favor, Quentin?
Yes, sir.
Just mail this over to the Democratic National Committee and find out. It is easy to balance a budget, so let's get going. Okay. All right. Next thing I want to talk about is our buddy Ken, who is not feeling well at all. Now, you spoke to him?
I did.
So what did his voice sound like?
It was low. It was extremely raspy.
Was it sexy? Like, was it Barry White? Hey, Quentin, how you doing, baby?
It wasn't no Barry White.
Still not feeling good. I'm not going to be into like Friday, maybe Monday.
There's a lot of coughing in between still, and so he's feeling a little better than what he was. But
so just so you know, Ken hasn't been here all week,
literally. Yeah.
But yet we have all this paperwork, right?
Yes. Ken has been every single day giving me the most in-depth details for every show.
He feels like poop.
He feels like
crap.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is the kind of trooper he is and kind of soldier that he is for this show. And I always say to him, Ken, you're the boss,
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, nah, I'm not. I said, no, you're the boss, Whenever we play that thing that says, you're listening to the winner of the Air Personality of the Year, I always point at him because he's the show, man. I mean, you appreciate what Ken does more than anybody this week.
Oh, of course.
Am I right?
This man is. I wish people out there just really knew how much Ken has put into this.
Yeah. All right. So a little bit of inside baseball. You can always watch our shows. We stream them on Facebook. Apparently, we're back on YouTube. Can't believe that. That's on News Talk STL Official, I think. And then on my Twitter page, on what used to be Ken's Twitter page, and Rumble, of course. And so it was one Friday. Larry was in here. Larry Connors, we do Mr. Connors' Neighborhood every Friday. And Larry was sitting here. And I was going to say something. And Ken jumped in and said what I was going to say. And I said, well, I was going to say that. And I said to Larry, but he had to jump in and steal what I was going to say. And if you go back and watch it, Ken starts smiling, because he knows what he has to play. Mm-hmm. And then he hits Ken, Thunder Stealer. But when he hit it, he turned around and got coffee off the table over there, which is out of the camera range. And I thought I made him mad. I thought I made Ken mad, And Quentin, when I tell you, I worried about this all weekend. I watched that 100 times, those 10 seconds. I was like, oh, my God, I really made him mad, Because he came back with that smile like, all right, you want to mess with me? And then Monday I said, Ken, did I make you mad? He goes, no, you idiot. No, you didn't. If you make me mad, I'll tell you.
Yeah, Ken doesn't get upset.
He is the most, he is the most
yes.
even-keeled guy I've ever met. So Grant, my buddy Grant and Ken, we're having a little chat. Sometimes it's Grant and me and Ken all in a little chat, little girl party. And so Grant had said something nice to Ken, and Ken goes, these are Ken's words. That really means a lot, Grant. Thank you. I'm recovering, but my voice is still gone. So they want me to take another day off and see if my voice starts to come back a bit more. Do me a favor and place this note to all the Vic heads that I miss being there with you and Vic, but I'll be there. I'll be back soon. Thanks a lot, Grant. Talk soon. So that's right from the words of Ken Williams. He's thinking about all you guys. He appreciates you thinking about him. And
well, it's only one thing we have to do.
Ken, Thunder Stealer.
We haven't heard that all week.
You bet. That's because you didn't jump in on me at all, and I don't have a Quentin Thunder Stealer thing to play. Okay, so this conversation is going to be, you're going to be very helpful in all of this.
Okay.
All week, and even last week, I've been talking about Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. And I don't want you to think that I just got on board Caitlin Clark a day before she broke the record, okay? Mm-hmm. Because I've been watching her last year. I talked about her last year. This whole team I love, by the way. And Caitlin passed Lynette Woodard, her major scoring record. I don't know where she fits into all this because it was always that Plum girl.
Yeah,
what's her first name?
Kelsey.
Yep. And so here's the thing. Lynette Woodard played before there was a NCAA women's basketball. It was IAWA or something like that. And she had the most points in that. and now Caitlin passed her up too. Quentin, I think she's only 17 points away from Pete Maravich. So this is all very confusing. So let's do one thing at a time. Lynette Woodard, she has the distinction of being the first woman on the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, wow.
She played for the Globetrotters.
Huh.
Isn't that cool?
That is.
Another little freaky thing of being Harlem Globetrotters. Love the Harlem Globetrotters. I know a little bit more history than you're most geek about the Harlem Globetrotters. You want to hear one?
Let's go.
So the Harlem Globetrotters in 1951, I think it was, went to Argentina to go play because they were Globetrotters. They were all around the world.
Yeah.
So the United States government urged, this is all coming from my head here, so bear with me. The United States government urged the Globetrotters not to go to Argentina because our relations with them were not good at all. Globetrotters said, we're going to go, but we'll be careful. So they went, and Eva Perón, Evita, don't cry for me, Argentina, she fell in love with these guys. She loved them.
Yeah.
And so the Globetrotters had dinner with Juan Perón and Evita Perón, and they did their game, and the Argentinian people loved them, and, Eva Perón and Juan Perón loved them. And then, whether it was coincidence or not, relations between the United States and Argentina actually got a lot better, I learned this, by the way, from watching a documentary called The Harlem Globetrotters, the team that changed the world. Did you hear any of that?
I did not.
So Eva Perón loved them. Juan Perón loved them. They played there. And then tensions started to ease with Argentina and the United States because of the Harlem Globetrotters.
Wow.
I don't know. But they went when they weren't supposed to.
There you go.
Another thing, they went to Berlin, same year. 1936 Olympics, by the way.
Of course you know that.
And Jesse Owens, have you ever heard of the name Jesse
Yes,
Owens?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So Jesse Owens, a black man, wins 4 gold medals. What's your deal?
Wasn't that him at the games? No, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm not gonna embarrass
So
myself.
Jesse Owens got 4 gold medals right under Adolf Hitler's nose.
Yep.
Hitler was in the stadium.
Yes.
And Jesse Owens made him look like a fool.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to shake Hitler's hand. Hitler refused.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1951, I don't know how many years ago that was. I'm not very good at that. The Globetrotters brought Jesse Owens with them to Argentina. Now, this is in a gigantic Olympic stadium. This isn't like Madison Square Garden, 20,000 people. This is like how many people fit in those stadiums?
Right.
70, 80, maybe more.
Yes.
And they all stood in a circle around Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens had a suit and tie on. And then they closed in on Jesse Owens. And then when nobody could see him, he took off his suit and had the exact same track suit on that he wore in the 1936 games.
Oh, wow.
And he took a victory lap around the stadium, and the crowd went wild for him.
That is insane.
And the mayor of Berlin said, how many ever years ago it was, I can't do the math, he said, Adolf Hitler would not extend you his hand. I extend both hands. And he shook 2 hands for Jesse Owens.
Uh-huh.
So, oh my God, Lynette Woodard got us to this. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So, Lisa Bluter, who is the coach of the Iowa Lady Hawkeyes, she said she celebrated Clark's milestone, but took a shot at the NCAA for not recognizing Woodard's mark as the top scorer in women's college basketball. Because Lynette Woodard, we haven't heard her name in any of this, right? We heard Plum and Maravich. So I like that. I like that they're sticking up for, and Caitlin did too, you know?
That is good.
And Caitlin Clark, man, she is just amazing. And when she's at home, you know, she tries to get the crowd going. And what I love the most, and this will be mostly for the people watching on the stream, and if you're missing it, go back and watch it on the stream. She puts her hand to her ear and goes, "I can't hear you." Makes that face like, "Please cheer louder." So she's 17 points away from Pistol Pete Maravich's record. And now, what do you do with this conversation? Pistol Pete did it with no 3-point line.
It's a different game.
So what do you do? Do you put an asterisk in there or not?
Not at all.
You don't?
Not at all.
Not Roger Maris either for 161 games?
No.
Quentin has spoken. We should have a sounder that says, "Quentin has spoken." Who's this?
Well, we have Dave on the line.
Dave, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Good morning, my friend. And normally you're correct, but you were 100% wrong. She plays the women's game. She doesn't play the men's game. So there is no record for her to break. She'll break a woman's record, but not a man's record.
Dave. Listen, it's the most points ever scored.
Nah, Buzz, nope, zero. That doesn't count. She's playing the women's game. She wouldn't even been close had she played the man's game.
Well, no, she's a girl. She's not going to play in the man's game.
Okay, so she's got the girls' record. She doesn't have a record, just the girls' record, not the men's record.
I think that's it's fun to talk about in the media. You know, they'll bring it up a lot. Right?
Okay, here's my deal. Okay,
comparing the men's and the women's.
I'm not comparing the men and the women. I'm saying that she will have the most points of any college basketball player ever, whether it's a record or not.
Female. You can't compare apples to
I'm
oranges.
not. You missed what I'm saying. No,
I heard what you.
No, you didn't.
Said.
You missed it.
Yes, you said college player for a college female.
Listen, if you look at the list of top scorers, and it's going to say Caitlin Clark, Pete Maravich. That's what it's going to. She just scored more points than he did. Now, I did say, and I'd like to get some credit for it, Dave, that Pete did it with no three-point line. I'll go.
And how many more games did she score the points in over what Maravich did? Probably about 60 games. Can't compare it, my friend. Normally, you're 100% correct, even though you're Italian, but not today, my friend.
I think you're sexist.
Did
That's
you like
what I think.
Did you like I did it in this?
I gotta throw that.
Hype him up a little bit.
Oh.
Vic,
Okay.
I love you, brother, but that doesn't hold
So,
water.
do you not like her?
No. I think right now she's probably the best thing we have going on to get people interested in basketball. But you can't compare the records. The only reason Roger Marison have an asterisk next to him because he did it in more games. Had he done it in 154 games, like I believe Babe Ruth did, then there's no asterisk. But he has an asterisk because he did it in 161 games. Same thing with her. She does not. She has the has the female record, but not the male.
I'm good with that. I'm good with the asterisk, but not for that reason. For the reason that she had the 3-point shot and Pete did not.
But again, we're comparing apples to oranges. No,
I think you're a sexist. That's what a sexist would say.
You know what? Hold on. No, anyway, I'm not a sexist. I just told my wife to make me a sandwich.
Oh, my God. You know, I saw a meme that said a woman brings a knife to a gunfight. She might as well bring the bread and the mayonnaise and the ham, too, and make me a sandwich. And
now, that's sexist, but I agree.
I don't know where that came from, the make me a sandwich thing. I mean, my wife, make me a sandwich? She makes me tortellini and broccoli. Yeah. She makes me, these great Italian eggplant parmesan, sausage and peppers. Me can get those sausage and peppers. Forget about it. All right, Dave.
Dave will do the dishes as long as he doesn't have. I won't cook, but I'll do the dishes all day. So whoever wants to cook, let me know. I'll do the dishes.
I'll cook. If you do the dishes, I'll cook.
Absolutely, my friend Vic. I love you. I love the conversation with you. Quentin, I like the addition. You're a good support to Vic. Ken, get well, my friend. We miss you, brother.
That's great. That's good. That's good diplomatic.
Appreciate it, Dave.
He wasn't that diplomatic for Caitlin Clark, but diplomatic for you. That's fine. I love it. So this is the great thing about doing a radio show is he's gone now, and he can't comment anymore because we hung up on him. Caitlin Clark will have the most points of any college basketball player. That's just a fact.
I get it.
Don't leave the word record out. Just say she scored the most points out of any college basketball player after she beat
I can understand where he's coming from.
She did it with the three. I'll do the 3-point line thing. Quentin, you heard me say that.
Hey, no, I get both sides. I see where Dave's coming from, and hey, she passes Pete. So I get both sides.
Go Caitlin. All right.
Go sports.
Go sports. That's all the time we have. Thank you so much for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
My man Q. Bongino is next on 101.9 and 94.1. Number one for live and local conservative talk, News Talk STL.
Whoosh. Spring is about to be sprung, and whether you're going to be opening up your windows wide to the world or having them closed to protect you from spring storms, you better have windows from Window World. Window World's simply the best for less. Why do we say they're the best for less? They're one of only 2 windows with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval in the country. Just over 20 years in the business, they've improved the look and thermal efficiency of over 72,000 of our neighbors and friends in the region. A double strength of glass. They truly are the best for less. Give them a call, 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800. Check them out at windowworld.com. That's windowworld.com.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss as part of our lineup every week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 3 times every weekend on News Talk STL. And in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
Do you or a family member have health care coverage through Missouri Medicaid or Mo Health Net? The Family Support Division is required to make sure everyone still qualifies. You may need to take action to avoid losing coverage. Check your mail for notices from the Family Support Division and visit mydss.mo.gov/renew to create an account on the new benefit portal and to check renewal dates. That's mydss.mo.gov/renew. This message is sponsored by the Missouri Department of Social Services.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNVS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Biden and Donald Trump both heading to the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas. Now, Speaker Mike Johnson says Mr. Biden's visit to Brownsville, where border crossings are down, is nothing more than a photo op.
Why would he go to the 29th ranked hotspot? Because he doesn't really want to see the reality. We tried to explain it to him. The National Border Patrol Council themselves called President Biden's visit, quote, too little, too late.
Meanwhile, former President Trump will be 300 miles away at a state park that is the epicenter of a standoff between Texas and the federal government over immigration enforcement. Also at townhall.com, a wildfire spreading across the Texas Panhandle has become the largest in state history. Authorities say the Smokehouse Creek fire grew to nearly 1,700 square miles of scorched rural ranch lands and destroyed homes. The fire merging with another blaze and is 3% contained, at least one death reported. Forecasters say a Pacific storm packing powerful winds and heavy snow is headed for parts of northern California. Up to 10 feet of snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains. More Americans applied for jobless benefits last week.
The Labor Department says applications for unemployment benefits rose by 13,000 to 215,000 for the week ending February 24th. Despite the increase, layoffs remain historically low, even as more high-profile companies have announced job cuts this year. In total, 1.9 million Americans were collecting jobless benefits during the week that ended February 17th, up 45,000 from the previous week and the most since November.
Correspondent Jeremy House. The Dow is down 81 points. The NASDAQ is up 48 points, though. More at townhall.com.
The new FedNow system is paving the way for the digital dollar. It grants the government unprecedented access to your financial transactions. This isn't just an invasion of privacy. It's a direct assault on your liberty and hard-earned money. It's another reason why I recommend physical gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst and a podcaster with nearly 25 million downloads to people just like you who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother while also preserving your retirement savings through almost anything, including economic crashes, political instability, and even hyperinflation. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. Remember, there's no strings attached. Text FAITH to the number 989898 right now, and I pray you're blessed with continued prosperity.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
After a chilly start, mostly sunny skies will help temperatures recover this afternoon, up to about 53 today, close to normal for Leap Day. A weak weather disturbance scoots through tonight, but probably enough to trigger a scattered light mix of rain and snow as we dip down to 34 for the morning low. Maybe a little accumulation on grass and elevated surfaces, but it just wets the roads for the Friday morning rush. That all moves out. Partly sunny tomorrow afternoon. We bounce back to 52, near 70 on Saturday, and almost 80 on Sunday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Hey, Colombo here for Intervine, a great local company that has customers all across the country due to the quality of their products. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even batteries, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight. Our home and vehicles are full of great Intervine products, and right now you can shop their website and get 25% off your entire purchase just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. That's promo code TONY at Intervine.com.
You want to give someone something which they will really enjoy? Give them a Cafe Napoli gift card. You pick the amount, and they pick which of the Cafe Napolis they want to visit. Cafe Napoli in Clayton, Cafe Napoli in Town and Country, Napoli 3 on the streets of St. Charles, or right next door, Napoli C. The Napoli gift card. It's the perfect gift for anyone, or your entire office. Cafe Napoli. Cafe Napoli.
My name is Todd Showalter, and I'm announcing the Right Mind Show is officially running Saturday nights at 5. I'll now open the floor for questions.
Is the Right Mind Show funny at all?
No comment. Next question. Yeah, you, different reporter with the same voice.
Your co-host is very cute.
Not a question. I've got time for one more.
Do you do any impressions on the Right Mind Show?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Joe Biden getting out of bed.
The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. Saturday afternoons at 5 on News Talk STL.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with this free call. 800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. That's 800-524-1641.
All the information I need on the drive to work.
Mike Ferguson in the morning. I keep it on throughout the day, whether it's local, national, or something big that's happening overseas.
News, analysis, and opinion. St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
Donald Trump presidential immunity claims. The meltdown on the left. They thank the Lord, and I don't use his name in vain, because the future of the country depends on this, that Donald Trump, Jim, wouldn't you agree, has the dumbest enemies on planet Earth. They are so intellectually backwards. It's like they pride themselves. They think it's a golf game. Like the lower the score, the better they are. They're so proud of their stupidity. Did you see the meltdown from Rachel Maddow yesterday on MSNBC? Donald Trump's going to try to stay in power forever. He's going to declare himself a monarch or something. And everybody in MSNBC is like, yeah, man, that's right. Yeah. And you know what the funny thing is? In one of the most bizarre cases of projection ever, you ever notice how they insinuate that we're the intellectually inept ones? They're like, you guys are a bunch of rednecks in flyover country, you Walmart shoppers and all this other stuff. Like, wait, what? Aren't you the guys who believed in the pee-pee hoax? You walk around with diapers on your face and took 700 vaccines and wonder why you've had COVID 400,000 times. And you tell, wait, Oswald, You've had COVID every day for the last 4 years. And you think we're the morons? You're still telling us that it was a natural. Yeah, oh, that's right. The masked and vaccinated. No, double masked, Jim. And quintuple vaccinated. And they're like, no, it was a natural origin. It came from a bat that mated with a cricket. And it somehow slipped into human beings when a dude ate a cricket somehow. Oh, it did. Yeah. Do you have any actual evidence of that? Yeah. Peter Daszak or something mentioned it somewhere in a report. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds legit. Folks, these people are crazy. Here's one of the meltdowns. I want you to listen to this. I got a lot to get to, including, I'm firing on all cylinders today. I think I had too much blackout coffee, which reminds me, hold on. I got my blood work back, Jim, today. Did you know? You notice that? You heard me talk about it on the podcast? It was great. Yeah, I know. I was freaked out. So, folks, this is crazy. Want to hear a story? So, I take this Gallery Grail, this cancer test a lot. It's a blood test. And I send my blood work over to Dr. Neil, who's an awesome guy. We love him. And he's like, Dan, great blood work. And in the blood, because I got blood work done, I had a couple vials of blood taken for this Gallery Grail, this cancer screening test, right? So I send him over the labs. I get the labs back, and he's looking at them, and he's like, folks, he didn't say folks, but I'm telling you, folks, it was good. My diet is, HDL is good. The LDL levels are good. The cholesterol is good, blah, 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 whatever. But he says on the next line, of what I read was, I'll call you in a minute about the Gallery Grail cancer test. I'm like, what the? Paula says, well, I'm freaking out. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's what happened in my house. Jim was here. Jim had a camera crew. I was freaking out. I'm like, what do I do? My stomach is churning. I'm like, this is crazy, because if they're going to call you and they don't just tell you, typically that means it's bad. I didn't read it right. He said, Dr. Neil said, I'll call you the minute the test comes in. And I was like, maybe next time I should take the time to read that before panicking. So Jim heard that because it's an open mic the whole time, and I was freaking out. But again, too much information. But here's Illy Mistel. Illy Mistel's an MSNBC contributor. He is a lunatic, also a guy with a severe self-control problem, a dude like Chris Christie, who has never passed the Ho-Hos or Hostess cupcakes aisle without ingesting about 7 or 8 boxes. I can't understand the lack of self-control. I really can't. I mean, there's Ozempic, there's all these other products. Control yourself. The triglycerides are making their way into Illy Mistel's brain. He's a nutbag, and here he is losing his mind on MSNBC because the Supreme Court has appropriately ruled that, hey, listen, these are serious claims of presidential immunity that are going to have an impact on kind of like the United States forever, because if the president can be locked up the minute he leaves office for a political difference, that's going to create kind of a problem. Illy Mistel doesn't want that. Illy Mistel wants President Trump in jail now, so the Supreme Court agreeing to take the case is going to delay that timeline. So Illy Mistel freaked out on MSNBC, but everybody loved it over there. Check this out.
The reason why people like Mark and people like Dahlia seem to have a crystal ball is because they're real. Because they're realists and they understand the court for what it is. And at some point, people in the media, people at home, and people sitting in the White House have to stop pretending that the Supreme Court is some kind of benign, trying to do its best institution and start to realize that there are 6 Republicans, not conservatives, Republicans on the Supreme Court who view it as their job to help the Republican Party. And until we do something about that, until we take away that power, until we draw the line on them there, they will continue to do this. They will help Trump. They will take away abortion rights. They will end affirmative action. They will liberalize gun rights. They will do all of it.
Folks, these people are crazy. Do you understand they are nuts? You know, we use a lot of humor in the show for, I think, what are obvious reasons. It's a 3-hour show. I want to keep it entertaining. That's why I stick to the issues. Comments drive me nuts. What do you want me? You want me to read headlines for 3 hours? You'd lose your mind. Who's going to listen to that? This isn't 10-10 wins. People who want to hear the news want to hear it in 10 minutes. They don't want to hear people talking for 3 hours about their political opinions and what's going on in the country, where it's going to go, where it's been. The whole idea of this show is to keep you entertained for 3 hours, but useful. I always reference the Boogie Down Productions, edutainment. That's what this is, educational entertainment, okay? Stick to the issue stuff. We use a lot of emotion in the show. But when I say cutesy time is over, I mean it to be kind of funny, but make no mistake, what I'm saying is absolutely real. Cutesy time is over. You want to play cutesy time with these people? There isn't a single institution they won't shred. The minute it doesn't do exactly what they want it to do, which is collectivize and use power to tyrannically abuse people's rights. There isn't a single institution they won't destroy. Religion, the family, the Congress, the Senate, the Supreme Court, regulatory bodies, the presidency. These Jeff Flake, Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney types who think if we kiss enough asses on the left and we write enough op-eds in the Washington Post and the New York Times, that eventually a bunch of these tyrannical sicko leftists who would like nothing more than to throw you in a political gulag are going to come around and go, oh, look, Mitt's such a nice guy. Maybe we should be open to his ideas. Are you out of your mind? Are you crazy? I had to use an expletive I prefer not to use on the podcast this morning because it's harsh, but I was just feeling, I get it. I get it. I understand. Believe me, I get it. Jesus does not like me using that language. I totally get it. I understand. You don't have to tell me. I get it. But I said to people this morning, and I'm not talking to you, the listeners that get it, the conservatives, the libertarians, even candidly moderate Democrats who are getting fed up with the direction of the country. I'm talking to the Mitt Romney types, the Democrats out there who still think Joe Biden is a good guy and Barack Obama had the best interests of the country at heart rather than their own best interests. Wake the up. These people hate your guts. They hate you. I know that's harsh. I'm going to play some audio from a press conference in Athens, Georgia, their mayor, sometime before the end of the show. I promise we'll get to it. Jim, make sure we do. There was a woman brutally murdered, and the prime suspect in the case is an illegal immigrant. He gives a press conference yesterday, this far-left lunatic, and he uses it to take the opportunity to take a de facto shot at Donald Trump and his immigration policies? Folks, the woman's head was bashed in by blunt force trauma. She was trying to call 911, and they won't release the 911 recording either. The guy takes the opportunity to attack Donald Trump trying to stop illegal immigrants from entering the country. And this is what he takes his opportunity in front of the national media to address. These people hate your guts. You are never going to get your country back by appealing to sanity with a bunch of lunatics. Here's an example. Pop culture references may sound silly. I get it. I'm not trying to be some art critic or anything like that. But they work because they're pop culture, because pop comes from popular, meaning people have seen it. A lot of you seen the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. People liked them. They seemed relatively, if there was going to be a superhero, that seemed like a relatively realistic, guy gets hurt, whatever, you get the point, right? Whatever. Guy has emotions and all stuff. The famous Heath Ledger Joker character. Most of you have seen that. Widely regarded to be just an incredible acting job by Heath Ledger, who has since passed. He plays the Joker, his iconic character. It's been done so many times, it's hard to redo. And he made it his own. And he made it his own by playing a pure sociopath. Folks, if you've ever studied psychology in school, college, graduate school, you were a PsyD or PhD, the sociopath is detached from most response reinforcement relationships. In other words, you engage in some kind of operant response. You hug your child smiles, and that's reinforcing to you. So you want to do it again. Oh, give me a hug, and then your child smiles, and you're like, I love my kid, right? The sociopath doesn't work that way. You know, if you were to hug someone you didn't know and they were to move away from you, repulsed by your presence, you wouldn't do it again if you were a normal person. Oh, maybe I thought we knew each other, but maybe we don't. You know, if you're a weirdo, whatever it may be, you'd probably walk away. The sociopath doesn't work that way. They kill people who scream out, please leave me alone, go away, I'm calling my mom. People do, they call for their moms when they're, and they don't care. They have no reaction to it at all. They just continue doing what they want to do because they're sociopaths. I think that's why that Joker character resonated. Because people who watched that were like, my gosh, like that guy is really convincing as a total lunatic. Matter of fact, there's the line by the Alfred character in the movie, Michael Caine's character, where he says, you know, some men just want to watch the world burn. You know, when he says that, sadly, many of us have run into a person like that in our life. Folks, you're dealing with people in power right now, a lot of them, who, although they may not have the sadistic tendencies like that, have the governing tendencies like that. They don't care that what they do is going to get people killed. You understand that? That fact that they have not only allowed but incentivized a series of open border policies that have let people in the country that have killed, murdered, raped, brutally assaulted people matters not to them. They don't care. As a matter of fact, I told you their argument was going to be, and I'll go into it in a little detail tomorrow. It just happened before the show. The hapless moron of a fact checker at the Washington Post, Glenn Kessler, one of the dumbest people in media, not as dumb as Philip Bump, but he's getting there, wrote the piece I told you they were going to write. Crime rates of illegal immigrants are, comparable to or lower than. It doesn't matter. Citizens have a right to be here. Illegal immigrants don't. And their crime rate, Jim, is 100%. Because if you're here illegally, you're a criminal. I told you they were going to write that piece. These people don't care. The Illy Mistals, the Athens, Georgia mayor, Joe Biden, Alejandro Mayorkas, they don't care. The response reinforcement relationship has been entirely severed. It's like a guillotine. They don't care. So you writing op-eds in the Washington Post appealing to their sanity is a waste of your time. So what isn't a waste of your time? Getting them the hell out of power. That is it. The answers are not complicated. Stop them from being able to impact you, at least using the levers of government. I got some disturbing Obama video audio coming up next, too. Don't go anywhere. Big show. We'll be right back. Bongino. Credit card balances increased by $50 billion in Q4 last year, meaning Americans are sitting on more debt than ever before. It makes sense. Everything's still more expensive, and people have to put essentials on a credit card. Homeowners, you have a way out of this credit card spiral. Call my friends at American Financing. They're helping customers save an average of $854 a month by using your home's equity to pay off that debt. $854 a month adds up to over $10,000 a year. Mortgage rates are lower than they've been in a long time and much better than the average credit card rate. That's important. It takes just 10 minutes to get started. It costs you nothing to see how much you can save. You can close in as fast as 10 days, and you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. American Financing. American Financing. Here's the number. 888-994-7660. Again, 888-994-7660. Or you can visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Dan Bongino.
Agree.
I think conservatives have it wrong.
Or disagree.
I couldn't agree with you more.
The conversation happens here.
I agree with you on Trump. I'm shaking my head. I'm one of your liberal Democratic listeners, and I don't get why any of this even matters.
Because your voice matters.
Everybody told him he couldn't do it. and then he did do it.
That's what you got to do. You got to play hardball.
I want to hear what people think and be able to talk about it.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Does your life insurance plan include living benefits, hearing, diabetic supplies, teledoc service, discounts on urns, caskets, tombstones? Larry Connors here. I suggest you call Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial. Call 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
Larry Connors, USA.
Hunter Biden and his artwork.
Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words. What a coward.
The art gallerist apparently claimed that one of Hunter's financial backers purchased most of his paintings for $875,000. What's this? Oh, it's a scribble, but really it's a man walking into his future and seeing his past at the same time.
You are the epitome of white privilege.
They were laundering money, and he had all of his friends coming forward to help him out.
Larry Connors, weeknights at 6 on News Talk STL.
Hey, Tim Jones here for Rockwood Charcoal. If you love to grill as much as I do, I'm sure you prefer using charcoal over gas. Ever since I met Jonathan Heslop and he introduced me to his product, Rockwood Lump Charcoal, we're not using anything else. Rockwood's made from 100% pure Missouri oak and hickory and can be found in stores all across the country. It's the nationally highest consumer-ranked charcoal there is, so you're cooking with the best and supporting local industry and a local business right from my hometown of Eureka. There's over 100 area Rockwood retailers. Find yours at rockwoodcharcoal.com.
Congratulations to everyone at Connor Roofing. We chose the Connor Roofing team for our National Best of the Best Award for customer satisfaction without telling anyone at Connor Roofing, based on over 30 years of fantastic customer reviews. Rob and Kathy Connor and their team deliver very high-quality roofing, siding, gutters, storm damage restoration at a fair price with integrity. Connor Roofing has had an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau for years. Count on Connor. For an estimate, please visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com.
It's a pretty simple concept.
It is clear to me.
Let me make this clear.
Big events.
Your news and your opinions.
We're going to get out there and be heard.
St. Louis's place to talk.
Our voices are never heard in the media. We, the people, will always find a way.
And it's about time that we start putting up or shutting up.
Yeah, and you should come. You should listen to many voices.
1019 and 94.1.
Their phone lines have surely been burning up.
News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
And gummies, but do they really work long term? Are they good for you? There's a lot of open questions there. Your health and nutrition are super important. Because of that, producer Jim, he decided to go with PhD weight loss. He looks great, Jim. Why them?
I did it because I was able to see results from friends who did it. And it wasn't just the weight loss that sold me, but the fact that they were able to keep it off. Look, we all form habits starting at a young age, and PhD helps me undo those bad habits. Eating right is a learned skill and a game plan. Weigh-ins with a nutritionist, feedback, education. PhD works fast and easy. That's a real solution for me. I'm averaging 4 pounds down a week, the byproduct from doing the right thing. It's always been that way, and as of this week, 4 pounds again.
He looks great, folks. Have a conversation with PhD. Ask him anything, including about these fads. Tell them your situation. They love what they do. They have a great track record. Jim is absolute proof. Go to myphdweightloss.com and make the call. Weight loss results vary per individual. Consult with a medical professional.
Why so serious? Because it's really serious. The Dan Bongino Show.
Listen, I meant what I said before the break. These people really can't stand you, and you will respond politically appropriately when you understand that. I know most of you get it, and I certainly don't mean the tone of this to sound tutorial or definitely not condescending, because I know a lot of you get it. I'm 49. A lot of you have been in the game longer than me. And you understand. You've been listening to this culture war and this liberal war on democracy, some of you for 10, 20 years longer than I have. But I've been knee-deep in it for a long time now. And I think you've seen it too. There are people out there who are still convinced that swampy Republicans and these Democrats, no, they're just, they make mistakes, but they really have their, your best interests at heart. They have none of your best interests at heart. They will attack and destroy anything or anyone that becomes an obstacle to their path to concentrating power. anything or anyone, and I'm not just talking about Democrats, these people can't stand you. That press conference in Athens, Georgia, after the murder of that young lady, Laken Riley, if that didn't kick you right in the cojones yesterday, I don't know what will. There's just been a murder of this beautiful young woman with an incredible life ahead of her. And the guy goes up there and gives this basically anti-Trump illegal immigration screed. Are you crazy? Was this guy doing narcotics before he got up there? What were you? Are you nuts? And then you see the meltdown on TV after the Supreme Court did exactly what we thought the left wanted. They wanted a judicial review of presidential power. Oh, they just didn't want it before an election where it would delay their plans to put Trump in jail before the election. Oh, I got it. Now it makes sense.
Henry Repeating Arms makes rifles and shotguns that are accurate right out of the box, with performance and craftsmanship that can't be beat. And we make them here in America, backed by a lifetime guarantee. Henry's come in a wide variety of calibers and finishes and can be used for hunting, sporting, home, and land defense, and by beginners. Be sure to order our free catalog and decals to see the collection from the comfort of your own home. Visit henryusa.com for a free catalog and decals. henryusa.com for a free catalog and decals.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Dan Bongino.
Smiles are...
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. President Biden and Donald Trump both heading to the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas. It's a sign of how central immigration has become in the 2024 campaign. Many Americans now rank immigration as the number one concern. Wildfire spreading across the Texas Panhandle has now become the largest in state history. Authorities say the Smokehouse Creek Fire has grown to nearly 1,700 square miles of scorched rural ranch land and destroyed homes. The fire has merged with another blaze and is only 3% contained now. Authorities have not said what ignited the blaze. At least one person has died. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 90 points, but the NASDAQ is ahead 41. This is SRN News.
The new FedNow system is paving the way for the digital dollar. It grants the government unprecedented access to your financial transactions. This isn't just an invasion of privacy. It's a direct assault on your liberty and hard-earned money. It's another reason why I recommend physical gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst and a podcaster with nearly 25 million downloads to people just like you who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother while also preserving your retirement savings through almost anything, including economic crashes, political instability, and even hyperinflation. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. And remember, there's no strings attached. Text FAITH to the number 989898 right now, and I pray you're blessed with continued prosperity.
If you find yourself feeling out of place in the world, it's comforting to know conservative values haven't been abandoned everywhere.
The far left wants to destroy conservative values in America.
This is News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Are you a Republican voter in St. Louis City? This Saturday, March 2nd, grab your Republican friends and make a national impact by voting for a slate of delegates at the presidential primary caucus right here in the city we call home. It's open to all registered Republicans. It's free and it is important. Doors open 9 a.m. at the St. James Center at 1360 Tam Avenue in the gym. Contact us at stlouisrepublicans.com for more details.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
In the fast-paced world of digital marketing, making connections is a challenge for any business. But what if we told you there is a place where connections aren't just made, they're grown? Meet 2060 Digital, your premier Google partner and top-tier digital agency. We don't just follow trends, we set them. At 2060 Digital, we're not just another agency, we're your strategic partner. We dive deep into your challenges and develop solutions that drive measurable outcomes. Ready to elevate your digital presence with campaigns that connect? Google 2060 Digital today.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
It's Thursday at 4:25. We'll speak with Dakota Wood on the Middle East situation. And at 5:25, Derek Morgan, Executive Vice President of Heritage, on the 2024 Index of Economic Freedom.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
Be heard. Call 844-4 the USA now to let Dan know what you think. 844-484-3872. The Dan Bongino Show.
There we go. Big hat tip to our University of Wisconsin fans, ladies and gentlemen. If you know, you know. And thanks to the dude who gave me that University of Wisconsin hat. So it's in my collection of stuff. People give me so much stuff. It's cool. It's all going to go in the new studio. I got a couple questions about that. We're a little delayed, so just give me some time. The construction process has been a little laborious, but you want to do that right. You don't want to move in a big, fancy new studio and then nothing works. Be talking on the radio. Jim be like, I ain't hearing anything. By the way, this is crazy. I got called for the jury duty, so I may have to take a day off today. Jim, did you see that email this morning? I was looking. Yes, I forgot to tell you all. Would you? I know, right? Isn't that crazy? That would be so bananas. Me on a jury. So I may. It depends. I'm not. I sincerely doubt I will be selected for any jury given my volumes of material on just about every topic. So, but listen. We have a trial by jury and trial by your neighbors, and that's the way it rolls, man. So, got to do your duty. Got to show up. So we'll see if I get called, and that would I haven't gotten one of those in so long. It's crazy. Paula gets them all the time. I think Paula's on like some rotating jury duty list. She gets them like every 7 days on a regular. I don't know what it is. So why do I tweet and put on True Social every single morning that Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of the United States? I'm going to tell you something. I love you all. I hope you love me back. We got a great family going here with this show. We built something super special. But the one tweet truth post I get the most kind of consistent feedback on from people I know are like-minded thinkers is that one. They say, Dan, Joe Biden isn't the worst president in U.S. history. It's easily Barack Obama. And I always say to them, no, he's not. You're making a mistake. Obama is horrendous, and Obama, prior to the Biden era, was unquestionably the most destructive president in U.S. history. But I've tried to make the case over and over, and I did not plan any of this. This just happened. Victor Davis Hanson, who's a much smarter guy than I, put out a video kind of affirming what I've been telling you. I want you to listen to this. The reason Biden is more destructive and dangerous, outside of the data, which backs me up, is that Barack Obama and Bill Clinton both had political instincts Biden doesn't have. Folks, Biden is a genuinely dumb guy. Ask people who've been around him. you don't work in a White House for years and mix and mingle with these guys, you would be stunned at some of the stuff that comes out of this guy's mouth. Do a James O'Keefe. Find one of these former Biden staffers when he was president or VP. Go do an undercover thing at a bar and if they're drinking some red wine or whatever, they'll tell you what I'm telling you. The guy is cringy. He would be in a room of advisors with Obama. And I wasn't in the room with them at the Oval, but you would hear people talk about these things, right? And he would say stuff that would just make Obama and everyone in the room uncomfortable. You know that guy? You ever been in a business meeting in a C-suite or anywhere else with managers, mid-managers, frontline managers? Doesn't matter. And there's always that one guy, and every time he opens his mouth, everybody's like, oh, man, I wish this guy would just shut up. That's Biden. You don't work in that kind of environment in the White House without people talking. He's a really not smart guy, is kind of the most benign way to say it. Obama knows that. The Obama team that's running the White House right now and pulling the strings, they're pulling the strings. And when I say pulling the strings, I don't mean there's a secret phone into the White House and a bat phone. I mean it in a practical manner. The people in the Biden White House who are making a lot of the decisions, making their way onto Biden's desk that he's too stupid to stop, are in fact people from the Obama era. Lisa Monaco, Susan Rice, Jake Sullivan, who's a Clintonista too. I mean, these are people in Jen Psaki, who was at Obama's State Department, who was there for a while. These are all Obama-era people. When I say Obama's pulling the strings, you always get some dumb fact checker on the left, some, dunce like Philip Bump. Like, that's a conspiracy theory. As if Obama's got to get some bat phone into the Biden White House. He doesn't need it. You all are conservatives and libertarians out there in the audience. If I asked you what the conservative agenda is, you could produce it like that. What's our policy on tax cuts? Well, the lowest tax rates possible, where we can, fund constitutional government and enhance prosperity. There'd be some iteration of that. How do we feel about education choice? Well, parents should pick where their kids go to school. What about health care? Well, we should pick our own health care. It's not hard. None of this is difficult. It's the same way for Democrats. Obama doesn't need to write out an agenda and go, Susan Rice, go do this. Everybody gets it. Now, getting back to my point, why I totally disagree with people who tell me Obama was worse. Obama had better political instincts. Obama understood that the stuff he wanted to do was not politically savvy, and Obama wanted to stay in power more than anything. So I said this morning on the podcast, and I'll say again, Joe Biden is everything Barack Obama wanted to be, but was too smart to become. Let me say that again. Joe Biden was everything Barack Obama wanted to be, but was too smart to become. Everything Obama wanted, tyranny, centralized government, outrageous overreach by three-letter agencies, obscene levels of spending that make even the Obama years look tame. Joe Biden is done. Outrageous levels of inflation. Why would the Democrats want inflation? Democrats love inflation. No, they don't. Yes, they do. They've wanted to monetize the debt forever. They want to spend money endlessly, and they know the only way to pay it back is to what's called monetize the debt, meaning you destroy the value of the U.S. dollar. Our debt's denominated in what? Yeah, that's right, U.S. dollars. You destroy the U.S. dollar, you monetize the debt, you destroy the debt's value as well. Think about it. You're a debtor, right? You owe a mortgage of $300,000. You want a high inflation environment or a low inflation environment? High. Right? You want a low inflation environment, or else your $300,000 in debt is going to take you $300,000 in work to pay it off. You get high inflation and $300,000 is now worth $100,000. You only have to produce $100,000 in work to pay off the $300,000 you borrowed. It's like magic, except it's not. Because you have to work harder to buy, again, $300,000 worth of house. See, the Democrats, all of this is none of this is an accident. You think the Democrats don't know printing a bunch of money and spending it is going to cause inflation? They know that's what they want. This is what Obama's always wanted. He just knew it wasn't that politically palatable. So they always figured if they got a moron in the White House who was too stupid and had no political instincts, that if they stuck a blank slate in front of him and filled it in with all their liberal wish list stuff that they couldn't do, that they could effectively run a third Obama term. No. Okay, you don't have to believe me. Just listen to Obama. This is a clip by Victor Davis Hanson. This is great. Jim, cue up for me if you would, cut to. Victor Davis Hanson's a brilliant guy. I have said this 1,000 times. I'm playing this clip because he says it better. And when someone says it better, just tip your hat, play it, and move on. Barack Obama was not as destructive as Biden. Biden is dumber than Obama. Obama and Bill Clinton knew that if they said a few buzzwords here and there and acted like they were reasonable once in a while, that even some insane Republicans would vote for him. And they did. Obama got at his first term, got a decent chunk of the Republican vote relative to the speak because they believed this guy was a moderate because he was politically savvy. Biden's a moron. And that's what makes him so dangerous because there's no limits on what he'll do. Listen to VDH explain just that.
Obama never moved the country as left as he wanted to. He was too timid, and he felt that he wasn't yet ready. He would hurt his legacy if he didn't get reelected or what. It was too dangerous. So now, with Joe Biden, he's living his dream. Remember what he said? He's on tape. My dream is to phone in the presidency. I would like to have a third term, but not if I had to work. I would just like to sit in my basement and just tell people what's going to do. And he said it, and that's what he's doing right now. The Obamas are running the country. And my point is they want Joe Biden the way he is because he's a construct. He's just a cardboard person they cut out and they plopped him down in the basement and they make him move once in a while. And then they run all of the agencies. Obama's responsible for the border. He's responsible for the whole crime epidemic. This is what he wanted. And Biden was very useful.
People would ask me, knowing what you know now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. I'd be fine with that.
Folks, there's no need to overthink anything about what Obama just said. He means it. He means it in a figurative way. He's obviously not talking about a literal earpiece. He doesn't need it. He's got people planted in the Biden White House. Biden needs Obama because, again, Biden is a moron. He's a dumb person. I just got a text from a friend who shall remain nameless. It's like, yes, basically, affirming everything I'm telling you. Biden and Obama hate each other, but Biden needs Obama because Biden understands and is jealous of Obama's popularity, and he needs it. So Obama needs Biden because of what you just heard. Biden wants a de facto third term where his wish list can be fulfilled like any politician would, except his is destructive. So in exchange for his tacit support, and I say tacit because Obama's never openly endorsed Biden when it was actually competitive, ever. He hates the guy. In exchange for his tacit support, he enacts most of what Obama and the far left wanted. That's not Biden's natural political instinct. Biden's natural political instincts, which have always been off. I mean, just listen to Bob Gates. Biden's been wrong about just about every foreign policy decision. That's Bob Gates. He worked in the Obama administration and Republican administrations. No one's been around this guy more. Biden's instincts, though, especially in Delaware, were always to toe a political line. It's how he magically managed to get reelected, even though he's a total, complete buffoon with no instincts at all. He must have had good advisors around him telling him to shut up and say X and don't say Y. And then he finds himself in the presidency where his ego explodes and he thinks he did something right despite an obviously manipulated COVID election, which was a total train wreck. And he thinks all of a sudden he's this new messianic figure on the left. And now that he's got that idea in his head that he's changed politics forever and he thinks he's better than Obama, he decides he's going to go farther to the left than even Obama did. And Obama loves it because Obama's like, this is great. All this radical, crazy stuff that's going to destroy the country, but I want to get done. I can get done, but I don't have to take any of the political black blow from it. Like, how great is that? I mean, that's what he's talking about. Obama, oh, I'd love a third term. I'd be an earpiece and I wouldn't have to do anything. I got a little puppet. He doesn't need it. They always knew Biden was the moron they wanted. The problem now is Biden's become politically useless to them because his approval ratings are so low. And don't get crazy with the polls, folks. I put out a tweet about this morning. However, I'd rather be ahead in the polls than behind. If the polls are even remotely accurate, Biden's in a lot of trouble. And now that they're done with him, they want him out. His circle is now shrinking. And when the media is given another choice, which is going to happen soon, I don't see Biden being the nominee. The obstacle is Biden. I mean, if he stays in, there's nothing we can do. He could very well be the nominee because if he doesn't leave, he doesn't leave. But the pressure on him to leave is getting intense. And the Obama team, I did it again. The Obama team are the ones pushing the levers right now. But when the media is given another option, they're going to take it. The only reason they're still defending Biden is because he won't leave and they're afraid they're stuck with him. I'm going to talk about what this means psychologically for the media because they're in a really rough place right now. Coming up next, we'll be right back.
Bongino.
As you know, Mike Lindell has a passion to help you get the best sleep of your life. After he invented the world's best pillow, he created the famous Giza Dream Sheets. They're the best sheets you'll ever sleep on. The best night's sleep just got even better. For a limited time, you'll get a queen-size set for $59.98, king-size just $69.98, the lowest prices in history. Mike and the MyPillow employees continue to be canceled by big box stores and attacked by the media. They appreciate your great support during these times and want to thank you by giving you a free autographed copy of Mike's memoir, What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO, with any order today. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-637-4982 and use promo code Dan. You'll get the famous Giza Dream Sheets, queen size for $59.98 and king size for just $69.98. You'll also get 60% off the original My Slippers. Call 800-637-4982. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-637-4982 and use promo code Dan. Or go to MyPillow.com, promo code Dan.
Dan Bongino.
Number one for live and local conservative talk.
We don't know how far Russia's influence goes.
101.9 and 94.1.
No one wants a rematch of the 2020 election.
St. Louis is number one for conservative talk.
News Talk STL.
This is Everett Jones of Jones Air and Water Treatment. For the months of January and February, we're here to make your drinking water, cooking, ice, tea, coffee, and other water-based beverages clean, crisp, and free of contaminants. Joey, what do you think of yours?
We use ours here at the station every day, and it's great. There's no cumbersome big bottles, no plastic waste, and it seems endless.
Call us now at 636-899-1040 and schedule your free analysis and let us get you on the way to higher quality water. You can be a filter or buy a filter. Find us on the web at joneswater.com.
So we finally got the parts for the time machine. Classic Kicks Country is streaming now. Hear all your new country favorites from the 90s. Streaming as it happened in the 90s. Classic Kicks. Download the Classic Kicks app from the App Store. Online at ClassicKicks.com. Or enable the Classic Kicks skill on Alexa. 90s new country streaming now.
Mark McCloskey here. Let me tell you about my friend Ian McFarland and his company, Modern Weapons Systems. They sell the newest top-tier weapons found on current movies, TV shows, and video games. They also carry a full line of NFA items such as suppressors, short-barreled rifles, and shotguns. Plus, they offer the best laser engraving services in town. If you're looking for the best value and family-friendly service for all your gun needs in Greater St. Louis area, visit Ian and his team at Modern Weapons Systems in Fenton. Visit them online at modernweaponsystems.com or call at 314-252-0486.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
On the next Larry Connors USA.
Biden and Trump at the border today, evaluating the crisis, the bad, the ugly. There is nothing good.
Larry Connors USA. Now weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
You can handle the truth. The Dan Bongino Show.
You know, I meant what I said. We really don't have to overthink this stuff. The thing about leftists that I find so fascinating is they'll run away from their own words, and then when you cite their own words, they'll call you a conspiracy theorist for citing their own words. Oh, Obama. Are you talking about Obama wanting a third term through a de facto presidency and an earpiece? It's not me saying it. I just played Obama talking about. What are you smoking crack? You want a Hunter Biden diet or something? Smoking Parmesan cheese from the carpet? I just played for you the audio. Oh, he was just kidding. Really? How do you know? That's weird. Because all of, Obama's instrumental people in his administration are back in the Biden team doing Obama's bidding in the Biden team. However, the Biden circle of supporters is shrinking. I'll show you what I mean coming up. You give them an option, these media people are going to bounce fast. Hey, for 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When I say only, the only one. Patriot Mobile has been a great supporter of the show. They love you guys. I'm proud to partner with them. Patriot Mobile offers dependable, nationwide coverage, giving you the ability to access all three major networks. What does that mean? It means you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to without funding the left. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're supporting a company that believes in free speech, religious freedom, the Second Amendment, sanctity of life, and our military, first responders, and our veteran heroes. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes switching easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Their team will help you find the best plan for your needs. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Bongino or call 972-PATRIOT. Get free activation when you use the offer code Bongino. Join me and make the switch today. patriotmobile.com/Bongino, patriotmobile.com/Bongino, or call 972-PATRIOT.
Dan Bongino.
I'm going to show you what I mean in a pretty detailed segment coming up next, how for the first time, and Jim, you may have to record this for posterity, Dan Goldman, who of course is the dumbest male member of Congress, AOC, of course, is the dumbest female member and the dumbest member overall in the overall competition, in the unisex competition. Dan Goldman finally said something I agree with yesterday. Hunter Biden was up on Capitol Hill giving, from what I've heard, hilariously bad testimony. I'm going to say hilariously bad. His answers were just so comically stupid and didn't marry up with any of the iCloud data that why someone would not plead the fifth and go on the record what appears to be such obvious lies. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know if he was maybe under the influence. I don't know what the hell he was doing yesterday. But Dan Goldman came out, dopey member of Congress, and Goldman said something to the effect of, I'll play the cut for you after the break, that, yeah, there's an explanation for Hunter's business dealings, and I agree with him. There is. How do I know? I use the same approach I've always used on the show. When in doubt, just go and listen to the left themselves. The thing about liberals I've found is liberals can't shut up. The thing about tyrants is when they exercise their power, they want others to know. It's, again, the whole libs of TikTok effect, where they'll go on TikTok and brag about sexualizing kids. And then you take the TikTok video and you put it on a Twitter conservative account, the same video, and they lose their minds. I thought you guys wanted the video out there. They don't. They just want to brag to themselves. So the thing about liberals is they can never shut up. So if you just take their own words, like I'm going to take Hunter Biden, you'll see that Dan Goldman was telling the truth. Hunter Biden does have an explanation for his business successes. He said it himself. All you got to do is listen. More coming up next.
The wait is over. Capriati's is now open. Taste extraordinary with our one-of-a-kind sandwiches, like our award-winning Bobby with hand-pulled butterball turkey and stuffing, our roast beef with hand-sliced American Wagyu beef from Snake River Farms, or our crowd-favorite classic cheesesteaks with your choice of grilled steak or chicken. No matter which you choose, you'll always get Capriati's high-quality ingredients. Capriati's. Eat extraordinary. Order now at capriatis.com or on the app.
On Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
All your hard-earned tax dollars and mine are going to fund illegal aliens who come across the border penniless, jobless, skillless, and they're given a cell phone, an identity, and a cash stipend every month.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
That beats your Social Security income if you should have the good nature to work your ass off your whole life and retire.
Mark McCloskey on fire. Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL. Brought to you in part by Modern Weapon Systems in Fenton.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. These pills work for men and women to improve their sexual performance. And now for the price of 2 or 3 pills, you can get nearly 100. There's no need to pay expensive prices for Viagra or Cialis. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Change your life for the better and have fun. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
800-631-2030. 800-631-2030. 800-631-2030. That's 800-631-2030.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The Supreme Court has agreed to decide whether former President Trump can be prosecuted on charges he interfered with the 2020 election.
The decision by the justices calls into question whether his case could go to trial before the November election. While the court set a course for a quick resolution, it maintained a hold on preparations for a trial focused on Trump's efforts to overturn his election loss. The court will hear arguments in late April, with a decision likely no later than the end of June. That timetable is much faster than usual, but assuming the justices deny Trump's immunity bid, it's not clear whether a trial can be scheduled and concluded before the November election. Early voting in some states will begin in September. Keith Peters reporting.
President Biden and Donald Trump both on the road today. They're heading to the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas. It's a sign of how central immigration has become in the 2024 campaign. Many Americans call it the #1 concern. Also at townhall.com, during his State of the Nation address, Russian President Vladimir Putin has vowed to fulfill Moscow's goals in Ukraine. Correspondent Karen Chamas has that story.
Arriving to an auditorium packed with Russian lawmakers and top officials, Putin began his 2-hour-long address. He also sternly warned the West against deeper involvement in the fighting, saying it could risk a global nuclear conflict. French President Emmanuel Macron had earlier said that deploying Western troops to Ukraine should not be ruled out. In an apparent reference to Macron's statement, Putin said countries who decided to do that would face tragic consequences. I'm Karen Chamas.
The Dow is down 25 points, but the NASDAQ is ahead 79. More at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-256-5533. That's 800-256-5533. 800-256.
This is Larry Connor's commentary on News Talk STL.
Hunter Biden testifying behind closed doors in front of Congress yesterday. In his opening statement, he said, "I did not involve my father in my business. For more than a year, you've been hunting me in your partisan political pursuit of my dad. You've trafficked in innuendo, distortion, sensationalism. Oh, you mean like you naked with a bunch of hookers?" Yeah, he didn't bring that part up, did he? No, what the committee has been holding, various text, emails, WhatsApp messages, photos of Joe Biden with Hunter's business partners, millions flowing into the Biden family accounts that they know about, then 20 different shell companies set up by the Bidens, Hunter paying for Joe Biden's expenses, email aliases. In the midst of all that, Hunter Biden says, "There is no proof here. My testimony should put an end to this baseless political charade. You've wasted valuable time, resources, attacking me and my family instead of the issues desperately needing your attention in this country." You know what? To that point, I think he's right. We do need to focus on what really needs our attention in this country. And that would be, Hunter, Hunter, that would be throw your daddy out of the White House as soon as we can. And we're working on it diligently.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
Hey, St. Louis, my name is Rob Carter. If you are sick and tired of the corporate news bubble, if you like unedited information free from corporate money, if you want straight talk with no script, join me weeknights from 8 to 10 p.m. on The Rob Carter Show.
Live and local, weeknights at 8 on News Talk STL.
Great news for my sponsor, Napoli Sea. And it's no surprise to me, nor hundreds who have dined there. The first time I entered, it was clear Napoli Sea is unique. The decor, the fish, imaginative cocktails, and of course Napoli Sea is right next door to Napoli 3 in St. Charles. Napoli 2 is in Town and Country. The original Cafe Napoli is in Clayton, and I'm honored to endorse each of them. Visit any of the Cafe Napolis.
Tony Colombo here for Cadre Asset Management. A cadre is defined as a small group of people specially trained for a particular purpose or profession, and that is the role that Cadre Asset Management can play in your financial journey. Learn more about how they can help secure your financial future by following Cadre Asset Management on Facebook, or just go to cadreassetmgmt.com.
Cadre Asset Management is a Missouri-based independent advisory firm licensed under and securities and investment advisory services offered through Founders Financial Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC.
Are you fed up with paying too much for lightning-fast doctor visits with too little information? Well, I was too, and decided to create an alternative. Hi, it's Dr. Randy Tobler here, asking you to take a look at no copay, no deductible visits with me and my team. That's Body of Health Direct Primary Care. Let's face it, the system's broken. No respect for your money or your time. So learn about a better way for your primary care. Schedule your discovery call today at bodyofhealth.com. That's bodyofhealth.com, shepherding you to medical freedom.
So many ways to listen to News Talk STL. Enable our Alexa skill.
Hello.
Hey, Alexa.
Yes, I'm listening.
Play News Talk STL.
Welcome to News Talk STL, conservative talk radio for St. Louis.
This hour of the Dan Bongino Show brought to you by STL Fenceworks, celebrating 50 years of industry-leading service for fence, deck, and leisure space solutions. Visit stlfenceworks.com.
Jim, you're listening to that? I've never done any primetime specials. The podcast, is live every day at 11 a.m. The audience, by the way, it's been great. When I first started doing the radio show, there was some thoughts out there. I think even Guy, the podcast producer, thought that it would kind of cannibalize the content, but that's not been the case at all. The radio ratings continue to go up. The podcast ratings continue to go up thanks to you, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to try something different. Super Tuesday, which is this coming Tuesday. We're going to do a special in addition to the podcast and the radio show, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be live on my Rumble channel, rumble.com/Bongino, where some of you are watching the radio show now and where my podcast is every day. So Guy and I were putting together a little bit of a guest list, and we're hoping they say yes. I don't want to announce anything until they say yes, because it'd be a really good one. And we'll try a first primetime special. I haven't done that in a while, so we'll see how it works out. I hope to see a lot of you there. Give you some options on. Some of you may not have cable or not want cable anymore, so now you have some options for some coverage in lifetime as it's happening. But getting back to what I was talking about before, how the remarkable thing about liberals and my experience dealing with them, and it's long. I mean, I grew up in New York. I ran for office in Maryland. You're not going to find two more liberal states than that. Maybe outside of Hawaii and California, that's it. I mean, it is peak liberal. And Maryland's even more difficult to break through because there were a number of different variables in Maryland that weren't even present in New York. You know, the proximity of government buildings, it's hard. So you really, really learn how to navigate your way around minefields. And I've noticed this about liberals. It's their remarkable self-destructive tendency to want to advertise all the awful things they do. It's explainable. It's stupid, but it's explainable when you understand what the liberal is. The modern liberal is someone obsessed with the concentration of power and the abuse of it. It's not hard. You know, you can write a 35-book treatise on this. It's ultimately going to come down to this. Conservatives believe in distributed power, i.e. the power of the individual through God-given rights. Very simple. I have the power. I delegate certain powers to you in government via consent of the governed. You do what I want. If you don't like that, then you get to vote differently for different people. And if a majority of people agree with you, different people will make different decisions. Very simple, right? Liberals don't buy any of that. Liberals have a conclusion already drawn up. We want X, your money. We want your kids' education, control over your health care. How we get to X is totally irrelevant as long as X happens. If we can get it by people voting for it, great. If democracy, as we know it works for liberals, they'll take it. But if it doesn't matter. They'll just cheat and steal an election. And if that doesn't work, and they try to cheat, and they didn't cheat enough, they'll use the courts. And if the courts don't work, they'll engage in boycotts and corporate pressure. And if that doesn't work, they'll terrorize people and do their BLM Antifa routine in the street. You understand that you know, this 30-front war they engage in, 50-front war, I just pulled that number out of a hat. It's very deliberate. So liberalism isn't complicated to understand. They're obsessed with power and abusing it. They have an outcome. They don't care how they get there, period. Conservatives believe in a process because if you don't have a process, individual liberties can't be respected. They can't. It's impossible. Hayek explained it better than I did. There's no real difference between political and economic freedom, right? If I steal away someone's political freedom, in other words, who they vote for, I'm just going to pick my own person differently. You're never going to own anything anyway because they're just going to have the discretion to take it from you. I guess the better, easier, more simpler way to say it, and one of the things he emphasized, is government, in their effort to force equality, is ironically forced to treat everyone unequally, right? If the government wants to make all of us equal, disregarding our work efforts. And let's say Jim works a 20-hour day and I work a 60-hour work week. Or Jim works 20 hours a week, I work 60. If the government says, no, you both are going to take home the same amount of income, they've treated us unequally. Jim gets extra benefits because he gets to take my income, and I get fewer benefits because I have to work to support Jim, who just doesn't want to work like I do. Liberals don't care. They want forced equality, which means everybody's treated unequally. And the people who are receivers of the spoil system, they expect political favors back from. In this entire process of enforcing this, they love to brag about it. That's this bizarre trait liberals have. Here's what I mean. Here's Dan Goldman yesterday. Hunter Biden, who's up on Capitol Hill yesterday testifying, who everybody knows, is involved in just some incredibly destructive, both politically, potentially legally activities. Everybody knows it. Media people know it. Folks, the media knows the Biden crime family's a real thing. That's why I told you yesterday, stop trying to explain it to them. Explain it to them only because a third person is listening. They already know. They know the Biden family's corrupt. Explaining it to them and acting like they don't get it is a waste of your time. Only explain it to them because there's a third party listening. That's the only reason. So Dan Goldman's listening. He is the dumbest male member of Congress. He is a Democrat, of course. And he comes out of this hearing after, about an hour or so. And he's like, listen, man, there's an explanation for all this. Hunter Biden, all these big contracts overseas and all this stuff. And I got to tell you, I actually agree with him. Listen to Goldman's comments, and this is the first time he said something that actually makes sense. Check this out.
That first hour of this much anticipated testimony was the nail in the coffin to what is a complete bogus and sham impeachment inquiry. Not only were they unable to show any connection between Hunter Biden's business and President Biden, but Hunter Biden gave very detailed and clear explanations as to what his arm's length business transactions were with private parties in foreign countries who are investors and business people, like many people would have. He went through a laundry list of board seats and jobs that he has had over his 30-year career after he left Yale Law School. And he withstood some inappropriate attacks even in the first hour. So it is not simply there's no connection to the president, which we've known all along and which was made clear again, but there is a very understandable, coherent business explanation for every single thing that they asked for.
Yeah, there is. Dan Goldman's correct. I want you to mark the date, Jim. It is a leap year, February 29th, 1:13 with 47 seconds Eastern time. Dan Goldman's 100% correct. He's correct for the wrong reasons, but he's absolutely accurate. Hunter Biden has actually given an explanation as to how he got a hold of all these lucrative international deals. Because Hunter Biden's actually given interviews about it and admitted the reason. No. Yeah, I know he has. Here's a Barron's headline. You can look it up yourself. You ready? Get ready. Type this in your phone. April 6, 2021. AFP via Barron's. Hunter Biden admits Ukraine firm saw his name as, quote, gold. It's right there. You see what you think I'm kidding when I say this stuff? The liberals are tactically inefficient. They love to abuse power, and when they do it, they love to talk about it. Folks, I'm not suggesting you would ever do this because most of you are good, decent, morally and ethically upstanding individuals. But if your dad was a senator or a vice president, put yourself in his role, and you went out and engaged in what appears to be on its face, plainly, an international influence peddling operation using your dad's name, would you give interviews and actually admit to it? You're shaking your head like no one would be that dumb. Yes, someone is that dumb. Hunter Biden and Dan Goldman. He's actually said this before. No, he hasn't. That Barron's headline may be wrong. Jim, do me a favor. Cue up, if you would, cut 4, flashback October 2019. Hunter Biden decides he's going to give an interview to ABC. Why? Because the grift never ends. What was he, selling a book or selling blowhole paintings at the time for an obscene amount of money? Amazing. They accused Trump of overvaluing his Mar-a-Lago asset, and yet Hunter Biden sells a blowhole painting by numbers thing he got out of like a Walmart kids section, and he sells it for $500,000, and no one's like, wow, that seems like an overvalued asset to me. But here's Hunter Biden giving an interview, and he's asked a pretty simple question. Would you have had any of these jobs if your last name wasn't Biden? You don't need to believe Dan Bongino about what the answer is. Matter of fact, I encourage you to challenge me and fact check me. Just listen to Hunter talk about it himself. Take a listen.
In the list that you gave me of the reasons why you're on that board, you did not list the fact that you were the son of the vice president.
Yeah, no.
What role do you think that played?
I think that it is impossible for me to be on any of the boards that I just mentioned without saying that I'm the son of the Vice President of the United States.
You were paid $50,000 a month for your position?
Look, I'm a private citizen. One thing that I don't have to do is sit here and open my kimono as it relates to how much money I make or did or didn't. But it's all been reported.
If your last name wasn't Biden, do you think you would have been asked to be on the board of Burisma?
I don't know.